page so I could be in the chat.
Here we are.
What is
We're all
Chance's race
here.
called? Tabaxi.
Yeah.
So as you notice, you may or may not be noticing, I've got you guys on the party page, and I realized while I was sitting here that I do not have any icons for you guys. And somebody's just moving Jerk off the page for some reason. Could you put him back there? Because I really need him up there, because that's where I copy and paste you guys from. Thank you.
Yeah, I moved it back. Sorry.
Yeah, I use that. That's functional, not pretty. But I don't have a figure for.
I'm sorry. I just thought it was funny that it's like everyone has this stuff, and then I have this huge horse and like a wolf and like other random things.
It's because it's the stuff I collect up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where did Sparkle Gem's mini go?
Good question.
Gone. What'd you do with it? Did you?
She's up there. No, she's up there.
I see her. She's all the way to the left.
Yeah, very first one on the left.
See the hand? The water
right
beer?
below the hand. She
you don't
should
see
be
Sparkle?
there.
I can see her.
I love this freaking emoji.
Really?
Yeah.
I got a blank space underneath the mage's hand and a stone statue under
her.
her.
You can see it on the Twitch stream.
Yeah, maybe I can only see on the Twitch stream.
Right there, huh? Yeah, it's not on mine.
Yeah,
I do not have a Sparkle Gem there.
Wait, let me actually look at Roll20. I don't either,
Yeah.
but I can see it on the Twitch stream.
Look, I'm moving her. Can you guys see her?
No.
She's right here.
So weird.
I can see her moving around in the stream, but
that's funny.
Did you move her to a different level or layer or something? How you
I don't have
can't do
the
that,
power.
though.
No, I can't do that. Oh, see, I see her water weird.
No,
I see her mage hand and her all in this little circle, which the mage hand could go bye-bye because I don't use that anymore, I don't think.
Well, we need an icon for... Well, we need wherever Sparkle Gem went. I mean, because I need to be able to copy that here.
I mean, if you want to, like, just put a new Sparkle Gem down, I could delete this one. That's not a problem.
CJ, can you host yet?
Yeah, I've already been hosting you guys.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
host your record. What's Chance's weapon is mainly? A sword? Bow? Archer?
Longbow.
Okay, I'm gonna try and just look up Archer. Let's see if I could just give you something so that we've got.
Well, I just sent you another little dude guy, and if you look at your direct chat, you should have a little picture.
I like how
is that icon token that I can use here.
It's the same site.
Excuse me.
For Novak, so.
I'm drinking out of like a soup container.
You sent me something where?
Nice.
Oh, okay, just that picture. Yeah, I'm thinking about the icon on the character icons, like how Talison's got the horse and everything like that, a little thing like that. So I'm gonna use this one and give you, even though your name's still Novak.
I'm friends with an art teacher, and one of her students left her
dude,
Derpy Knuckles mug behind, so she gave it to me.
Dude, that is a thick-walled mug.
This is a thick-walled Derpy Knuckles. I might use it as a planter.
I can't see it right now.
Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. All right, well, there are early maps that I will just go find Sparkle Gem on and copy her out.
Oh, how do you have like all of our? Wait, that's on. Oh, that's cool as fuck.
Oh shit.
What's that?
The D&D Beyond interactive overlay, where like if somebody's watching, they can like see what our hit points are at and stuff.
Yeah, you can. Well, it's still got Pubert on it. It hasn't updated in a long time.
The fucking picture that he uses.
Yeah, right.
It's hilarious.
Well, does it have everybody on it, or just the?
I think it's just the main party. It does not have Chance on it yet.
I have to find its backside.
All right, I found her in my collection.
It's got Sparkle Gem on there. Sparkle Gem, Godwald, Jerk.
I have added Sparkle Gem to the map.
Yeah, I don't have control of that one, but I have control of the one that's right above it. Like, now they look like they're fighting. Pew pew.
Who's fighting?
If I ever see two, I will delete one of them. but now I have a copy of the icon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you still have Mage Hand? Is that still a spell you have?
No, I lost the ability to cast that when my body transferred.
Wait, but didn't I give you a bracelet that lets you do it, but
Yep.
or lets you detach your hand?
Yeah,
What-
so
Shall
If
we
we wanna-
keep it looking skeleton-y?
I mean, my new hand is super fleshy because it's literally my hand I chuck at people.
All right, well we'll go try and find one of those later.
Okay.
But all right, so we've got icons for everybody now. That's good. That's the thing I wanted to see happen at the beginning of the session. Thank you. I decided already who got inspiration for the day. It's Taliesin. Hey! Victory for Taliesin. He's
Look.
going to roll
Lucky.
great tonight.
Not all of us have the bribe GM with food option right now.
It's
I
not
mean-
food, it's beer.
You're right.
Which
Is
I
that
guess
an office
calories.
reference? Is that an office reference? Bribe Jim
No,
with
it's-
food?
Another thing. No, it's a Munchkin card.
A Munchkin card. All right.
food.
Nope.
Yeah.
You haven't gotten
Haven't
to
played
play
Munchkin
Munchkin. Look,
in
I'll bring it to
forever.
the next meet. Okay.
Sounds good.
Which we should
like-
figure out the next meet here soon.
We can't. Everything's on fire.
Yeah, I was gonna say the next
Yeah.
meet is
Only
after
full
the
of it.
pandemic.
After they
Just
come up with
assuming
a
assuming
not-
that just ends tomorrow randomly.
Like right now, Saturdays are better than Sundays. I'd say.
Oh, I love
Alright,
you
let
guys.
me get- I think I could just throw a chance icon in now too. Boom, we got a chance.
So if anybody
Okay.
has VR and they're interested, Skyrim VR is on sale for like 14
Oh, no.
bucks.
That
Oh my god. If anyone has VR and they're interested in October, we get fucking X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. I didn't know what they called it, Squadrons or something in VR. Oh my god.
I'll be picking that up.
No
So-
thanks.
Yep.
It
I'll be
sounds
buying
like it
VR
has,
just to play it.
flight options.
VR works better with games that already feel immersive, like Alien Isolation. I don't remember Skyrim ever feeling very immersive
What?
in
Are you
any of
kidding
its
me?
sports.
Are you kidding me? There is
True
no other
distaste.
game.
I gotta find this video now.
Like, I have legitimately poured over 1,000 hours into Skyrim. I haven't done
I have
that
a
with
fuck ton of hours.
any other game except for Morrowind.
I think I only played it through twice, so probably like 160 hours. Not like you guys.
That's like when me and Robin first started dating. We just set up two TVs next to each other and played Skyrim for like days,
That's pretty awesome.
all the
That's
time.
fun.
We did the same thing with Fallout 4.
Dude, I'm really hoping the next Fallout game isn't as disappointing as 76. Like, I personally liked 76 because it was the only Fallout game I ever played. Like, it was the very first one.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't have a standard going into it.
So if you stream Fallout 4, may I tease you?
Oh, go ahead, everybody. I had
Sure,
a
I
group
was-
of
I was in
chat
there
users
teasing her
doing
today.
that. Yeah,
Yes, I
no.
was today years old when I found out about that. So.
I introduced myself by saying, "Hey, what's up, butthead?"
Yeah, he did. And I'm like, oh, hi, Chris. How are you doing? Love you, dude.
You could do Fallout 4. Like, so Robin played Skyrim, and then like when she tried to play Fallout, she was like, I don't like guns. I can't aim. So she just played through the whole
Oh,
game with
dude.
only melee.
I mean,
No,
the option
Go on.
exists.
Yeah.
It
Well,
does.
there's that fucking
Um,
weapon. There's that sword you can get that does like 2 times damage to like robots and shit, and it just
Yeah.
Oh,
fucking
General
destroys
Whoever's
shit.
Revenge.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's
never
in an
even
early
thought about
shop.
trying it, and she was just like, "Yeah, no, I'm just doing everything melee."
See, I can't aim, and that's like 80% of the entertainment is watching me
Yeah.
run the fuck away from enemies because I can't land a shot to save my life.
Sarah, can you close your blinds?
No, they only go halfway down. That's why I was going to turn off
Okay.
my camera. I'm darkness. I am Batman right now. This
You're
is a
fine.
catlet.
It's fine.
Yep,
I like
yeah,
it more than not.
I like having you as a shadowy silhouette more than I like you not being there at all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Much agreement here.
As long as it's not right behind me.
What is breaking news on my phone now?
I mean,
Some
not-
kind of news is happening. It's news it up.
I,
Actually,
enough
it's
if that helps.
What did?
There's a solstice going on this weekend, and it's where you could go to get the best view of it.
I did all of my rituals last month, so I'm kind of set.
Right on.
All
Well,
right.
when I say a solstice, I should say it's a solar eclipse happening this weekend.
Yeah, 'cause the solstice
Hmm.
happens in the winter and in the summer. So winter solstice and the summer
Well,
solstice.
technically, there's 4 solstices. There's the winter,
That's
spring,
not
summer, and fall.
That's
Yeah.
not true. A solstice means
Do we
it's
count the vernal equinox?
the
Really?
longest.
Yeah, that's a different thing.
Really?
It's a different thing. Anyways,
I don't
So-
know anything about
Is
this
that
stuff.
better? Are we good now? Can you see me?
Kind of.
Is
gold. It's
Yeah,
pure
actually.
gold. I love it, and don't ever let anyone tell you different. Okay,
is that an animal?
Pure
this
gold.
is
Cat.
me.
Yeah, it's a cat.
Oh,
It's cat butt.
I was like, gold's not an animal.
It's today, 6/18.
Ah,
Oh my gosh, you guys! I
Cat
think
with
we're
the
coming
shirt on.
close to our 2-year
No, actually, I changed my mind. I'm
anniversary.
gonna let you guys get this out now.
I just feel like it's been a minute since we've all gotten together. So
It really has. It really has, and I
Got it.
actually don't. I don't want to interrupt it. Like, I love you guys, and it's been a minute. So
Sarah, are you caught up on Fruit Baskets?
I am not. I was actually gonna watch it tomorrow because I'm off work tomorrow. I was gonna marathon the 3 episodes.
You need to watch the
Cheers.
newest episode.
cheers.
from my soup.
My
Container.
water. Oh, wrong camera.
There you go.
Oh,
I finally bought my own router, and
Oh yeah.
so now I have. And then I bought a power line extender, so I have 4 networks now.
You missed yesterday.
And now you'll experience how some devices just suck at swapping from one repeater to another.
Oh,
yeah,
that's funny.
right. I've
Some
got,
do. Some randomly are bad at it.
I've
Yesterday-
got Isengard and Barad-dûr, and then I've got Hobbiton and Bag End.
Which
Oh,
one are you
nice.
on right now?
Well, this is my desktop, so it's wired.
Good move.
So yesterday we streamed the Overwatch practice, and every time we lost, I ate Reaper pepper jerky,
Carolina Reaper pepper.
and it was
You
it
ate
was,
them? What?
It was awful.
How sore is your butthole today?
Oh, I texted first thing this morning.
He texted me
I
and he
texted you, I'm
texted
like-
me sad about it.
I'm
So
like, man, I'm
you know
paying.
it's bad.
I am paying for last night. So you guys missed
Oh,
me in a lot of
goodness.
pain yesterday.
It was pretty funny. As a, like,
Man,
the fourth game
disappointing.
we lost because he's taking a jerky every time we lost a match. So the fourth match we lost, he was just dying. We definitely did better at the end, which
Yeah,
I'm
I just-
amazed at.
I just stopped talking at one point. I'm like, I can't even open my mouth to talk. So,
It was all the pepper sweats, my dude. They just make you hyper focus.
oh yeah,
Oh boy, so that was ridiculous. Everybody staying safe, healthy.
Relatively.
As much as I can.
Yeah.
I have done more yard work than I have ever wanted to, but it all needed to be done.
welcome to
Anybody
adulthood.
back at work or back into the office or anything they didn't want to be?
I have to go back to the office twice a week now, and it's stupid and pointless.
Well, I've been
Art.
back at work for a few weeks, so
A few weeks back at work. How's work? How's that been?
sucks.
Just dead. Nobody's there. Or...
Yeah, and the few people that are there are not the people you really food industry. You don't really want them there.
Yeah, no, because it's usually the
All the lazy people who
The-
don't actually want to work that pretend to work.
customers. They're
what I-
the ones that are coming in right
No,
now. Are the
customers.
cheap asses. They're the ones that aren't going to
Yeah.
tip you.
Yeah.
They're the ones that
Yeah.
And they're
complain
still
about
asking for deals.
everything.
They're
Yeah.
not tipping servers. They're asking for special needs all the time.
It's
Dude,
the people
like-
who have been
Alright,
bitching about
so when
not
I was
wearing
a
masks and
cook-
wanting to open now.
Yeah.
I need a
Yeah,
haircut
they-
that I can't pay for.
Yeah, when I was a cook, there was a lady that would come in all the time, and she would not tip anybody, and she would like have claims where it's like, I'm allergic to red peppers but not green peppers, and I'm like, bitch, that's the same pepper. It's just one's been on the vine longer. Like, what the fuck are you
Right.
talking about? That's not.
It's the same thing. They're
Like-
just different colors. That doesn't mean
You
that.
can't be,
I get
you
it.
can't
I
be
got
allergic to like the color of a pepper. Like that. What?
I'm gonna strain my eyebrow if you keep telling these stories.
what are you talking about? You talking about like the lady that
Like,
No, it was a guy. It
Every
was a
time he
guy.
says that, they have to do that. So
He was allergic to cucumbers. He couldn't eat cucumbers, but he
Yeah.
wants extra pickles every time he comes in.
That's
Ah,
fucking.
That's-
It's your
man.
fucking
That's
liar.
hilarious.
that
Okay.
What the
doesn't.
fuck?
We used to have this lady come through all the time and order green olives on her burger and then demand a full refund because she's allergic to green olives. And then she would just sit there and pick them all off and eat her free food.
What the fuck?
That's just a terrible person. I'm
You
surprised.
should-
That's
I-
not.
if-
But you
so-
ordered them.
If I was in that situation, I would just take back the burger before I would run the refund.
Oh yeah, you
did.
take back the food. You have
Yeah.
to take back the food.
Yeah.
You're supposed to take back the food and throw it right away in the trash. And even then, if more than 50% of it has been ate, you are not required to issue a refund.
That's a contradiction with your story.
Oh, I know
No.
it is.
No, so if they end up eating half of it before you can get the food and they make their complaint, they already ate half the food. They
Right.
ate the meal.
Well, the managers at this place would just do whatever to shut the customers up. So they got walked over all the time.
And that's the testimony that I expected but did not want to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Food industry sucks. Don't work in the food industry. It's all about pandering.
People are mean.
Pander, pander, pander.
that's putting it nicely. People are just brutal to like service workers.
This is like turned into a podcast for us to just vent.
Right.
Attention, everyone who complains about
Better now than while I'm trying to exposit.
All right. So where are we?
There's music now, though.
I don't remember where we were,
Oh,
but
I
We
got
went to sleep, right? Did we go back and go to
we,
sleep?
we
No.
went back and went to sleep, I believe. Hang on.
I
6
believe that's how we ended.
It's been a little over 7, 8, 9, 10. It's been like 11 days. Does anyone want to recap from last time? We did a
I
bunch
have-
of stuff last time.
did
I
we
have 2
miss that?
pages of notes if you guys want them.
Go ahead.
You
I
fell
distinctly
asleep
remember
at
hearing
the
someone
end
said
of
that they don't remember.
You fell asleep
Huh?
at the end of the last session. So
I totally turned my camera off and napped out because I was
You guys
not
went-
having it.
yeah,
You
it
guys
did-
went back to the room at the end of the session. Yes, you went to the rumored house.
Yes.
Remember what happened for the rest of the session?
So, yeah.
Uh,
So we went to the Rumored Hearth Inn. I was looking for Aldar. A bunch of plants that absorb sound and glass doors. Let me see. I'm just trying to, I have so many, random fucking notes here. At the end, I paid for the Master Suite. You guys all went up to the Master Suite. We all went up there. Some of you stayed. Me and Jerk went down. You guys all ordered room service. I think Godwald was just, hanging out in his own room. Because you guys were kind of being a little crazy and just eating everything. Then you guys all came down. After I had spoken with Aldar, kind of just made sure everything was good. We all did a toast when we got back, which teleported us to where we've met Mugen. And then we talked to her for a while. She kind of explained. Let me see here. Mugen, teleportation circle. Let me find. So I told him about. Yeah, we drink special drink, teleports us to a round marble room with the runic circle in the center floor. They're mannequins. Luckily, the mannequins didn't attack us because we're considered harpers. Yes. Okay, so she told us that if the Giant's caste system is broken, then the most likely enemy to have caused this would be the dragons, as they have been warring for hundreds of years. She speaks of Vodanod, which is a construct that was created by the Giants to fight the dragons. We know that the Giants were not really concerned about us at all. They just wanted a piece of the construct. So that kind of adds up. She's trying to figure out where more pieces are buried. She's worried about a war coming. A lot of elves are being born, which means a lot of elf souls are coming back from the Fae. She explains that when this many elves are born, it's because a war is coming and they are needed. She shows us a map of the teleportation circles that we now have access to. There's one in Neverwinter, Mirabar, Everland, Yartar, Loudwater, and Waterdeep. There's a Harper teleportation network where there's a mage at each one. I also have all those written down, but I don't need to explain all their names right now, I feel.
5 cities.
See,
About
she
5
tells
cities in the Sword Coast that have teleportation circles that you can use.
Yeah, she tells us that the death of one of the kings caused the issue with the giants once before. She also reveals that. Oh yeah, we are in a cloaked tower in Neverwinter. I had told her that I had told Durathra to bring the Vodnod like dowsing rod thing up this way. So if we can get it to her, we'll try. And she said she's gonna have Aldar do that. And then yeah, we basically just went back, and we had haste on us, so we were like just zipping through.
Haste and invisibility.
Yeah.
Cast as you exited the door from the cloak tower. Yeah, that's pretty close. Yeah, you guys got to be at the cloak tower, which you now know is the hidden library. The rumored hearth is kind of your entry point to get there in Neverwinter. So you now know the location of that place, who to contact, how to get there, and use the teleportation circles. She asked, and the idea is to go through the rumored hearth to keep the location secret.
Yeah.
It's just kind of between the Harpers.
Because if we're only ever seen entering but never leaving, that is perfectly secure.
I mean, it's somewhat secure.
As long as you don't do it too much.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
And I asked about tea.
Did you guys go to the marketplace? Well, I don't know if you did.
Not yet, no.
Well, didn't we drink tea with her? With Mugen?
Oh yeah, you drank tea with her, and she told you what her favorite kind was. If you brought her any, she would be very thankful.
Yeah.
It was one I'd never heard of before.
Hmm. She listed off ingredients. She didn't have a name, I don't think.
I think we've heard of it though.
Right, yeah. It may have sounded familiar to tea enthusiasts. But yeah, so I'll bring you guys back over to the Neverwinter, your Neverwinter maps, collective maps here. You guys are finding yourselves here near the harbor, on the inside of the wall at the rumored Hearth Inn. You woke up after a long rest. You have the room, and your keys work until the evening tonight, which would actually be the 18th day of the Claw of Sunsets. So you are about halfway into March.
Okay. Yeah, our keys only lasted for 24 hours, right?
Mm-hmm. Unless you re-up and pay for the room again.
Hang on. We got there at 8 p.m. though, according to my notes. So,
yeah, so
it should last
8 p.m. tonight.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I understood that correctly.
Yep,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah, so you guys still have the room for the day. You don't have to get rid of it. You know that you don't have to, like, checking out is irrelevant. They're just going to go in and clean the room once the time is up. And your keys disappear once the time is up. So
Cool.
So you guys could gather your gear if you wanted. You could leave your gear here and go out about the city, find things you need to do. I know there was talk of going to the Dragon's Temple today.
I would like to go to the graveyard as well and visit my parents' grave.
Yeah, wait. I thought I had notes on the Dragon's Temple.
We can go to the Dragon's Temple first, though. I don't...
It's up to you guys.
Oh.
Actually, talk about it. What do you want to do?
Tells me to find answers about Ninzao at the Dragon's Temple, and finds it odd that Ninzao has not advised some kind of assault on the dragon/dragon cult. So I think, yeah, definitely Taliesin would suggest. I think we should check out this dragon temple. Is this in connection with your religion, Godwald?
So, in order of what I learned, what I recall, the Lord's Alliance was confused that no word was coming from Neverwinter about action.
I'll be right back. Sorry, loud crash outside.
The friend I made was concerned that the person he met had at least one form that was a Dragonborn appearance, and that person is, as far as I remember, also the Lord's advisor.
Right, Ninzao is the chief advisor to the Lord Protector here.
And so if that and the entire giant issue is related to actions from Tiamat, then the temple should be the place to go for it, either anywhere from advice to direct help, but how much of the people below the chief advisor we can trust, I don't like to admit, but it's hard to say.
Well, so the Dragon's Temple, is that like the Temple of Bahamut, essentially?
Yes.
Sorry
Okay.
about that.
So, essentially, this dude,
Everything okay?
Ninzao, who is the one that we suspect has infiltrated under false pretense, is the leader of the Dragon's Temple. Correct?
There are
Wait, what?
7,
There are 7 leaders of the Dragon Temple?
and he is one of them.
Okay. So we... Okay. So... He is one of the 7 leaders of the Dragon's Temple, and I've been advised to go there by Mugen to find out more. So I'm assuming we would have to do this in a method of subterfuge. Not really. I don't think we should. I mean, having you with us, I think, will give us kind of a pass as to, we're just your adventuring party, and you wanted to visit the Dragon Temple because that is, who you follow. We're just here with you. And maybe that gives us an excuse to be there and maybe find out more information.
I've been away for a year. I certainly have enough reason to report in. Tell them about any number of the interesting things I've seen on my travels. But I'm not sure how much I could say about the Temple to Gramouche. But on the other hand, what happened to the friend I made could happen to me, so I shouldn't go alone. And I'm not sure how welcome they'll be of outsiders based on the welcome we had at the gates.
I don't think they... From what it sounded like, they weren't looking for any of us. They were looking for somebody specific. So it wasn't just a general suspicion of people. It was a suspicion. It was them looking for some people specifically. I think, if anything, even if we showed up there as just random people without you, I don't think that they would act with any sort of aggression, because that would, if they are up to something nefarious, then that would just blow their cover immediately.
It definitely would. That's in direct opposition to basically everything the temple claims it stands for.
Yeah, it's as well as clearly they are trying to undermine and infiltrate the ruler here. So them blowing their cover over some people showing up to their doors, I don't think they would do that. They might watch us, but I don't think they're going to confront us.
Come to think of it, the guard at the gate mentioned they were looking for a Dragonborn, and there is, I guess, none of those among us anymore.
True. Also, Ninzao is suspected to be one in disguise. So could it be that he's already in here and has already, this whole guard out there is kind of futile at this point?
What, that my... You're suggesting that what happened to my friend wasn't an isolated incident and that at least someone else noticed that there's a Dragonborn doing shady things in this city?
Well, no, we
Yeah.
only know about the Dragonborn. I'm saying that like it's possible that if this Dragonborn has disguised himself and infiltrated the Dragon's Temple, has become the chief advisor to the Lord Protector, to draw suspicion away from him, he would tell people to look out for him, essentially.
That reminds me of a story I'll tell you later.
Everyone's busy looking for a Dragonborn, meanwhile he's there doing whatever he wants because no one's looking for him because they don't know who he is. You know? I mean, possibly. I don't know. We don't know enough about the story, about what's going on yet. So I think we need to do that.
I'm willing to ask around at the temple, but no one there's seen me for a year. I didn't have that many friends when I was there.
It's been about, because you guys were teleported for about 2.5. Or you,
Oh yeah, so
you
it's like nobody's seen. I haven't seen them for a year. They haven't seen me for 3 years.
Yeah.
So
Well, I guess let's,
I'm willing to try.
let's head there. I mean, if anything, you can talk to them, and I can turn into a spider and like climb up a wall into a window or something and sneak around. We can figure something out.
We lose nothing but time, because as you said, any overt action against them would be worse for them than us.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're looking to gather inside information, it'd be as simple as one of us becoming disguised as a cult activist and just going in and gathering it.
Well, so
Hey
this is a
Hey now,
What
your
dreams
former
are made of.
temple
That's
might
what dreams are made of.
Your former temple is riddled with corruption at this point. Do
Well,
you not
yes.
want to get to the bottom of that?
I can't deny that, but cult is a strong word.
Fair.
mean,
I
aren't
should
they
have
all
said
cults?
temple and not cult. But I mean, if you want to get technical, isn't a cult just a group of people following the same god?
No, not technically.
Yeah, not when it's my god.
So,
Wait.
So your god's
go
the
on.
exception.
also God
That's how that works.
in this world.
I'm pretty
are
sure,
like-
I am pretty sure that's how that works. God loves correct there.
yeah. So
Uh,
yeah, I think we should go try to figure something out. I can. Fuck. Let me look at my goddamn spell sheet. Spell list. I mean, I guess I can switch my spells around because I can do that every long rest. So
Yeah, so you can
We're
check
the-
it out in your morning with these things in mind. Yep.
if you've been thinking about this plan for this whole time, then maybe you did.
yeah, I am.
Have a
looking- Well, because
really
I'm trying to see.
good
I don't think
ability.
I don't have any sort of invisibility spell. I don't believe.
I do.
But
I have no idea what you can do now, CJ.
I could do a lot of stuff now.
We haven't
I
gotten a
could
chance
cast-
to sit down and talk about that.
I used my potion of invisibility.
I could
Didn't
cast
I?
invincibility on 2 party members.
Yes, I did, and I didn't think my actions through all the way, and
The only issue with that is invisibility only lasts for about a minute, so we wouldn't have much time.
Are you sure?
It's
it depends on I think my potion of invisibility lasted longer.
Well,
but-
regular
I'll be back in a minute.
invisibility, just regular standard default invisibility, which
you're
is
such a 3-5er.
So there's
no. It says right here.
Yes.
I could cast it at 4th level. It takes 1 okay, it's concentration up to 1 hour, so we can get up to an
Yeah.
hour's use.
It's like, and I can't get the glasses right now. So regular invisibility lasts a long time but can't be used with combat. Greater
Correct.
invisibility is for combat.
I
Greater
think-
invisibility is
I got-
badass.
I got
Yeah.
greater invisibility and regular invisibility confused because greater invisibility only lasts for 1 minute because it's
So-
combat
Yeah,
form.
yeah,
Do
but you can
whatever
cast
you want.
you can cast spells though. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so I can essentially do
So, invisibility would affect vision, and pass without trace would involve everything else: smell, traces, sound.
Oh, let me do
It's a
this.
good
I will
combo.
do.
They do stack.
And Chance is just kind of hanging out like, all right, guys.
Yeah, like I can't disguise myself. I mean, you can't hide this floofy tail.
And
Can't
I
hide
could-
this beautiful floopy tail.
I could always disguise myself to look like one of the temple affiliates, and then cast invisibility on up to 2 other party members to back me up.
Okay.
All right, that's
So
still
do you know what
leaves-
you're? I'm interested. What do you? Once you guys are invisible and you go, what are you looking for? What are you doing? Like, what's the plan from there?
Uh-oh. Did we just...
so I'm
No,
doing
I'm
something
here.
differently,
Okay.
but
Like, are you going to try and eavesdrop, or going to try and find an openable office door somewhere?
so I'm gonna try. So okay, so here's my plan. Essentially, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cast Animal Friendship on like a bird, and then I'm also gonna cast Beast Sense on a bird, and
So
then
you just
then I'm gonna make that bird fly up to the different windows and check shit out, and I'm just gonna be like fucking warged into the bird, and I can hear and see everything that's happening.
so you can just gain a familiar because you are a druid, and that's how that works.
Yes.
Kind of. So, do we actually have to go inside the temple then, or?
We don't technically have to, though. I don't think it's a bad idea to, if Godwald being a member of this temple goes in, maybe they would divulge some information in with him that they otherwise wouldn't with a common person.
So,
So Godwald is, and he's a cleric of this temple. So there's, like, he would know that there's like kind of a little bit of a ranking. There's,
Right.
And I think he was mentioning this a little bit before, where there's priests, scale bearers, clerics like Godwald, and then there's alkalites who are more just like tending the ground and stuff. So he's actually kind of ranking in the temple. a little
Yeah.
bit, too.
So they might divulge some information to Godwald because of his rank and who he is, rather than us, because they don't know who we are and we aren't part of their temple. So that I don't think is futile in doing that. But while he's doing that, I can fly around, seeing through this bird, and just eavesdrop on people and see if anything comes up. If there's any sort of information that maybe they aren't willing to tell him, but they're willing to speak amongst themselves in private.
So, let's see. Beast Sense has unlimited range, and Animal Friendship is not concentration as well.
Mm-hmm.
So the bird would just do what you convinced it to do, as long as you convinced it to do it.
Right.
But you couldn't give it new orders on the fly.
No, I would basically just have to tell it, like, fly to these different windows and listen and look in and see what's going on. Like, spend, like, I don't know. Well, would we have any idea based on what we were told by the drunken priest dude, would we have any idea which room may be Nin's house?
I mean, would Oz kind of know which room would be his based upon former Timon Temple?
I know where the priest's offices are, if that's what you mean. They're kind of hard to ignore.
Right, yeah, everybody's got quarters. The priests all have quarters. The clerics and share a common area, and the alkalites are parishioners from the city, so they go back home at the end of the day.
Okay, so are the priests' quarters connected in any way, or are they all individual, like blocked off from each other, kind of thing?
Yeah, each of them has a personal room.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Godwald, would you have any idea which one is his?
Not at the moment, he wouldn't.
Okay.
We've been gone for 3 years, and this is a priest who came along when he wasn't there.
Right, that's what I thought. So
It would depend on who he replaced.
Because I think, let's see here,
Yeah.
that choose a beast and you can see within range.
Beast sense. Your plan mechanically sounds like a block away. You could look at the windows, how the windows are set up on the temple, and then with that in mind, ask this bird to do this thing based on I know the general area of the priest's offices, so it just takes that and the view to be able to word it right for the bird.
So I'm trying to figure out exactly how this works, because it basically if the spell Animal Friendship works, it becomes charmed by me for 24 hours.
Yes.
Regards you as a friend.
The charmed condition gives you advantage to persuade it to do the thing that you want it to do.
Right. But with Beast Sense, do I have a telepathic connection to it or not? Or I'm just basically warged in and my body's lifeless?
You can communicate with it telepathically, and the you're blind enough to your own senses parts of familiars are not listed here.
Yeah. So I basically can just ask it to do something, and then warg into it, and I'm going on a fucking ride.
Yeah, you're kind of third eye traveling there. It's a little
And so,
confusing.
If you had two druids, you could have one see through the other's beast form.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my wizard had a spell like this in my Friday night games where I have an invisible eye that moves around, and unlike Find Familiar, it doesn't block off my own senses similarly. And my DM was like, no, that's too powerful. You find it confusing and dizzying to have a third eye wandering in a space that you're not standing in. I was like, really, dude? Like, 4th level magic and I can't even use it properly? Jeez.
This is like the 5th story in the last 3 months I've heard about people not liking when players use magic to solve problems.
It's such a weird thing, right? Like, I'm loving this. I love you guys doing this. So you're,
Hey guys,
you're trying to...
I have an eye that I can take out and see through.
I have my owl.
You know what we could just do
I still
is
like your plan
take
more
Jerk's
than
eye,
because
throw it in my
owls during the day.
hand, and chuck it in the building.
And then how do we get it back?
So
and also,
I have an idea.
Godwald would generally reserve this place as kind of like, this was his home for a long time, so this isn't like wouldn't be a scary or a place he would be adverse to going to.
Okay, so I have there's two ideas that I kind of have. One is if Godwald goes in there because of your rank and you're well known within the ranks, you're cleric. Could you possibly seek audience with this Ninzao, and then go and talk to him about just like what you've seen in your travels and things like that, obviously leaving out any sort of information that we were suspecting him, but stand on the balcony while you talk so that I can see you from a distance, and then I can plant this bird there. Or
I can leave Gabe with you. Go in. Go to the office with a pretense such as what happened with the piece of the automaton, or the rumors about the cult.
That's a good idea.
And just think to Gabe which window it is.
Okay, would Gabe be able to tell me this?
Gabe, you can talk to beasts, right?
Gabe is a Sylvan, and I know Sylvan.
Gabe is a Fae, yes.
Or a Fae.
But also, I think you understand pointing.
Right, but also, Sylvan is the language of Fae, so he should be able to just talk to me, or at least enough to tell me what he's trying to tell me, or get the gist across.
I can't believe I forgot to. I was sending Godwald some bits of info, and I forgot to send him one. So I think he's just now responding to me. That's why he didn't respond to you.
Oh, you're fine.
So we're still at the room, right?
We're still at the room. We're devising
you guys
a plan. I mean, if you guys
talking about what you're doing.
Yeah, if you guys have any ideas,
Well, can I order breakfast for one?
Sure.
Make sure you
Room
add
service
breakfast wine to the menu.
Why
Yeah,
do I
let's
get
all-
the feeling it's going to be more fish?
Well, let's all have
Yeah,
breakfast.
fish and wine.
You just
what else
ring
do
that
do?
bell. Ding, ling, ling, ling.
Like, yeah, I asked the party, like, hey, anybody want
A
breakfast?
light knock, and a light knock comes at the door as you ring the bell. Someone's there, ready to get food for you.
Yeah. All right. So
Wait staff is on point at the rumored hearth.
Give them finger guns. Like, you guys are awesome.
I'll have
So,
some toast and eggs and maybe a sausage or two if they have it. But no,
Just
that's a good point. We
Simple
should
white
probably
wine for breakfast. That's all I need.
yeah. That's a no. The whole thing with Gabe is a very good idea, and I do believe that I should be able to communicate with him, at least enough to understand the gist of what he's trying to tell me.
Hmm.
So
Oh, I gotta find out.
I think any of
something
us would
quick, too.
understand.
right, I'm just saying. So
So outside my house, the loud noise that I had to go investigate was they dropped a car off of one of the jacks, and it didn't have a tire on it, and they were
Oh.
jacking it back up.
Nice.
These guys run like a looks like a chop shop out of the alleyway behind my house.
oh, there's people that do that. A couple houses down here. It's very annoying and loud.
Yeah. So I was like out there, I'm like, is everyone okay? They were like, yeah, sorry, we just dropped this thing. I was like, okay, because that just like shook the entire fucking building, you know? Like,
Yeah.
My
My
goodness.
neighbor's been
Drop
having
or
work on
something.
their basement done for the last 3 days.
oh, goodness.
What?
So anyways, so yeah, I mean, so you guys are talking, you got a idea to approach with subterfuge. You have an both through approaching unnoticed and also from approaching with the idea of being a little more open but gathering information.
That makes sense. So, yeah, so Sylvan is the language of fey creatures that inhabit the plains. It uses the same script as Elvish, so
If Gabe has to pull at your shirt
yeah.
to tell you which window it is, we'll work it out.
Yeah,
I don't think that's a concern. I don't think the distance is a concern.
that's fine.
What were you planning on doing with that information, besides sending another bird to look in?
I'm basically just trying to plant a bug. I want to see if this guy... I clearly, according to your friend that we met in Tribor, this dude is up to something, he's disguising himself, he's put himself into a position of power, he is not calling for literally anybody to do anything against this dragon cult or this dragon. He's possibly colluding with them. I'm trying to see if he, in private, divulges any sort of information. So essentially I'm just, I don't think he's going to worry about a bird sitting on his balcony.
I am not the best with, let's say, wheedling information out of people. And I can't help but think of what happened to the last person I heard of that confronted this guy and the state we found him in.
No, that's not... All I'm asking you to do is figure out which window I need to put the bird in. You don't need to get any information out of him. Once you have left, when he's by himself, that's when that's when I would think that he would feel like he was free to, maybe go over his plans or read over something that I can maybe get a glimpse of or something like that.
I say you go meet him and just use Dispel Magic. See if he turns into a Dragonborn.
May fuck him up if he does that.
I can think of a number of ways that could fail. The least of which being, what if it's not a spell? What if they actually are some sort of changeling or have that effect? What if they just counter it?
So we already.
Room set. All the fish, eggs, toast, and sausage you had ordered arrives,
and coffee.
and hot bean water galore.
Where's my wine?
You ordered wine. There's the bottle.
Sweet. I'm gonna start sipping on my white wine for breakfast.
Chance goes to the door, gives a salute to the person with the room service, like, thank you much. Promise
Okay.
you'll get a tip in a minute.
They tip their hat and bow.
Grab the stuff and quickly bring it back into the room. To a couch.
They're kind of standing there next to the open door because he told them they're going to get a tip. Kind of hanging out.
That's all on you, my chica. Well, my dude. I guess I am the only female player.
You're the only girl
You're
now.
the only female character.
Yeah,
I had to go back to the couch to drag everything. And then I run back over to the door and I give them a little tip. Wait, how much should I tip them?
Depends. How much do you feel like tipping?
I don't have any money, so I gotta figure this out.
What are you doing?
Money.
You have no money, and you're
you trying
talking
to
about
tip them?
tipping people?
Yeah,
You should
I
just give
got
them a
money.
piece of
Oh,
fish.
I'll here, and I will give you. I don't know, like how much would an adequate tip be? Like 2 gold? That's probably a lot.
I was gonna give him like a silver, man.
Taliesin really doesn't have a whole lot of concept of money. He doesn't really care about it. So here, just take a gold and give it to him.
Alright, sure. I run back with the food and stuff, and you hear like you're gonna get a tip in a minute. You step forward and give him a gold.
Yeah. So I removed that gold.
We never did your gold. I just threw random gold at you. Chance, because we never sat and did that.
I found out last week that there is an actual table. They can wait.
All right, yeah. So you give them a few silver. Is that what I said, or you handed them a gold?
I gave him a gold.
Gold coin. Thank you very much, sir. There's a very happy young half elf who takes the coin and says, "Anything you need, just ring the bell." And they close the door behind them and exit.
Yeah, I thank them in Elvish and then wink, trying to be charismatic even though I'm not at all.
Roll for charisma.
Oh my gosh.
It's gonna be bad. 7.
Insight check.
Oof.
She understands that you're trying.
Yeah.
But laughs at the finger gun gesture.
I try to wink.
Kind
I
of
just
copying
blink with both
Chance,
eyes.
and it just wasn't the same.
Yes.
But you got
Okay.
your breakfast.
Yeah.
So, who's going with me for this not stealth mission?
Not
Well,
stealth? Not me.
I'm gonna go with you to the temple. I'm just gonna be outside of it.
Would anyone like
there's a
to go in
courtyard.
with me?
I mean, would they even accept me inside the temple? I know a lot of people don't accept me around here. It's kind of, give or take.
Dang, yeah.
It's a
We
place
are
of
the
worship.
only ones that really look like humans.
I don't
It's a
remember.
place of worship. There's no.
Yeah.
They accept all peoples.
It's a church.
It's a church basically. It's not gonna be like a ton of security at a church, right? I don't know if you've ever been to a church before, but
It's like why
not a lot of
Vikings
guards
targeted-
on duty.
That's
I've
why
been to a
Vikings targeted
temple.
churches.
This is
Yeah.
is
Temple?
this is the temple like tall, like a tower, or no?
It's a large building. If you guys
Could I easily?
if you guys approached it, I was gonna throw up the interior image that I pulled out to find and
Could
give you
I-
a description of the building.
Could I easily? You know what? I will go down. Okay, so my plan is to kind of go with you guys there, but then go down to the docks and I'm just gonna pretend like I'm fishing or something and just warg into a bird.
My talking with. Yeah, that works. No limit on that. Yeah. Sure.
You have 1,000-foot range with him, don't you?
Oh, the talking? That's and there's a limit on that. It's the
Okay.
senses.
Familiar.
Yeah.
So, but would one of you be willing to go in with me?
I mean, I'll go if you
I
can
would
make sure
like
they're
to
not
go.
gonna kill me.
Jerk wants to see if any of the priests who were there when his parents were worshiping there are still around.
Certainly.
Well, and also, Jerk, can't you disguise yourself?
I'm not
There's
gonna
a kit.
bother. They know me here.
I just,
This is the city he lives in, so he's
sure.
This is his city, and he's got his background.
True. All right. Yeah, I mean, I think we can all make an effort to go. I think we should all be there in the event that anything were to turn south.
So Godwell would be able to tell you that anyone would be welcome in the building. There's a courtyard. If you didn't want to go inside, you could wait outside at the courtyard. If you wanted to go inside, it's a large hall where usually you find people worshiping or running around doing different business for the temple. The priests discussing things with worshippers and other like scholarly discussions on scripture happening. Locations.
Would there be benches in this courtyard?
Yeah, people sit and relax, or if you're, in my case, read. It's not a barracks. It's usually pretty tranquil. That may have changed with everything going on outside the city walls, or it might not have. I'm not sure which would be worse.
Well, that's fine. This way will be easier. I can be close by, and I will just take a seat at one of the benches in the courtyard, and when I cast my spell, I will just look like I'm just sitting there.
Talking to a bird.
All right.
Yeah.
Stranger things have happened. I would know. I was there. It was my fault. But it's fine.
All right. So I'm hearing the plan.
So we're
Everybody-
all going to go together to the right outside the temple at least.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
let's hurry there because Sarah looks like she's feeling bad.
Is Sparkle
Chance's eating all of the fish that he had on the plate in a short amount of time, and
I drank like 2 cups of coffee now. I got my fish. I got my rice because you always eat fish and rice for breakfast. I'm
But
ready
he's-
to go.
he's starting to get a little bored. He's got up on one of the beds. He's starting to need, looking for a spot to lay down on.
I'm
If you
like
guys are
laying
moving.
backwards over the arm of the chair, like you guys have been talking about this forever. Let's go.
What's so scary about a temple?
Let's do it.
I'm with
All
you,
right.
kitty
Visit
cat.
the
Let's
temple
go.
I've never been to.
It's just like
I think that me and Chance are gonna get along just fine.
So, if that's the case, and the party's ready to head out.
agreed.
All right. Okay. All right. Yeah. So you guys make your way out of the Rumored Hearth Inn. You go downstairs, pass through the quiet entryway. You find the desk once again is empty with the bell sitting on it, waiting for someone to come along. So there's no one really to greet you as you exit. And you make your way over towards the Dragon's Temple by way of a path that goes past Castle Never. As you're walking that path, you get to, I think some of you get to see the castle up close for the first time. Large, dilapidated castle, one of the few well-to-do places that did not receive any upkeep or anything happen after the kind of calamity that happened to the city. You can see guards posted outside the gates around the temple as you pass. But then I believe you guys would cross over the Winged Wyvern Bridge over towards the Dragon's Temple. The building as you approach is... that... Let's see, so kind of general knowledge that you all just know by being in Neverwinter is that the Dragon's Temple is located in the former Hall of Justice. After the Cataclysm, the Order of Bahamut came to restore their old temple that was damaged in the explosion from Mount Houtnau 50 years ago that decimated that nearby neighborhood. Instead, Dagult Neverember, the Lord Protector, gave the Order of Bahamut the Hall of Justice, the previous Hall of Justice. So what was once the seat of authority in the city became
The seat of authority in the city.
The seat of worship in the city, and yeah, kind of gathered with it some new authority. They then built an island off the coast and moved the Hall of Justice there into the harbor. So kind of sort of separating the seat of authority in the city from the city itself in an interesting maneuver. The temple itself is kind of large stone columns. It was a building that was built to impress, but the Order of Bahamut isn't a lavish order. So the fine detailings, the ornamentation was kind of there from before. The majority of the temple has kind of been cleared out, but I have a nice shot of it kind of from the inside, which I'll show you here real quick. No, that is not only the wrong layer, but it's also not coming as an image. Alt drag, right click is image. And so this is a shot of the inside of the Dragon's Temple, which again was once the Hall of Justice. As you approach from the outside, there is the one element that that they did add, which is a golden statue of Bahamut. In front of it, you see some acolytes, and they have bushels of apples. They're doing their well, let me just read it. When you arrive, Godwald, you find the temple in good repair and plenty of people around. Worshippers, acolytes, clerics like yourself. And in front of the golden statue of Bahamut, there are acolytes handing out apples to passers-by in their daily attempts to feed the less fortunate. Upon entering past this courtyard, or upon entering the courtyard, none of the 7 priests are immediately seen. But you know that if you hang around long enough, you usually see them meeting with worshippers, providing lectures on scripture and things like that. Godwald, you do notice some acolytes, plenty of acolytes that you're not familiar with, and even a cleric wearing the scale bearer's outfit that you're unfamiliar with. So someone new has been brought up to the order, to the level of cleric.
Do they look young?
They look about your age. What are you, like your early 20s, late 20s? Like there could be in their mid to late 20s.
Fair enough.
It's a human. That one is a human being. But upon entering, you do meet and see a familiar cleric of one of the other priests named Rish. Let me see. Does Rish see you? Nah, Rish is busy. He's actually there with some of the other clerics, handing out apples. They're kind of giving to the people that are well off and inviting them to the service. That happens at the beginning of the 10-day. Doesn't quite notice you as you come up. Let me paste his name in the chat for you too. Come on. Rish.
Say, hey, I know that guy. Looks like he's aged 3 years.
As you're all coming up, he does notice the party that contains a tabaxi, a tabaxi, a tiefling, an elf wearing a owlbear's skull.
Yeah.
And what does Sparkle Gem look like currently?
A gnome?
A robed figure. Like she's keeping all her skin, like wearing gloves, keeping as much of her gold skin covered with her hood just up and over her head.
Okay, but you're not using robe.
No, no
you're
disguise self right now.
appearing as your
Yep.
other self. Okay.
Yep, nope, she's just trying to keep herself as
Yeah,
completely
an
covered.
interesting group. And Brother Reach kind of reaches out and he goes, "Hail, fellows! If you're hungry, our Lord Bahamut provides." And he goes and he offers you an apple jerk.
I'd say thank you, and I take it. Now, would I know the names of any of the priests that were around when I was a kid?
You might notice one of the 7 priests. You probably wouldn't have noticed any of the smaller ones, but one of the actual scale bearer priests.
Okay. Are any of them there that I could see?
Not mulling about here in the courtyard.
Okay.
Eventually, Reesh does notice you, Godwald. After he hands jerk an apple. Brother Godwald, you've returned. So good to see you. What brings you back to us? Have you found the answer to your question? Do you have tales to tell us?
I do have tales, Brother Reach. The years have brought me to strange places that I could not have foreseen. And I have...
well, it's just exciting to see you again. We've had a lot happening since you've been gone.
Really?
Yeah, there's new scale bearers, like there's new clerics, like we lost some people. I don't know if I'm really the one that you should be discussing this with, though. I could Master Vicar is here if you'd like me to go and fetch him or bring you to his quarters.
Please tell me the way, and I will go myself. You're doing good work.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I look forward to seeing you at our evening service later, and to hear about your tales and your adventures. His quarters are in the same place that they were when you left. I'm sure he'll be so excited to see you, and a lot to discuss and talk about. And hello, friends. And he turns to you, Chance and Taliesin, and he's like, Are you accompanying Brother Godwald?
Yes, indeed, actually. But do you mind? I'd rather let him speak amongst his kind in private. Is there somewhere I could sit?
Oh yeah, here. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna bring you guys over to a top down of the Bahamut map. Just give me a second.
Bahamut map.
So you can get a sense of the courtyard, because I thought this would be fun. I have you guys up the top here, but I'll pull you down.
We can see everything.
Yeah.
It's an open courtyard.
All right.
Yep, this is an open courtyard.
And it's made with tokens we already had.
Right.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
so
why is
these are
Chad here? Can we just kill Chad already?
Yeah, I've just put some townspeople in, so that is random kid number 1. There's random kid number 2. Random kid number 3. There's kind of a dude number 1. Kind of a dude number 2. Kind of a dude number 3. Yeah, so there are people milling about here in the quarters. There's a little bit of a stone ledge that wraps around this piece, and above it there is a tablet that kind of has on it several of the rules and laws of the city. The Bahamut worshippers of Bahamut left this kind of monument. Has if you think of it like the commandments, kind of, it's like do not kill, do not steal, etc.
Right.
It was a religious monument before they came here. The worshippers of Bahamut left it, but you can sit on this kind of this grassy ledge anywhere around here. You guys can kind of hang out. There's that golden statue, and
so I will walk over, just kind of sit.
Yeah.
I imagine we came from this way, and I'm talking to this guy.
Yeah, this is Brother Ish right here. Some of these people have walked on. Jerk, he handed you an apple. Sprinkle and Tone, you guys are over here. The kind walking up. Who wants to take a look around? Roll me a perception check.
I mean, I assume that I probably would, as I'm just sitting there not talking to anybody.
Okay. Anybody who wants to look around the courtyard?
I do.
Oof.
Oof.
that one.
It's a
Yeah, Taliesin, Gawald, you guys are pretty kind of enamored with the conversation. You're looking for a good spot to sit, and so you're noticing that stone bench really well.
Taliesin sees the inside of his eyelids.
I accidentally stubbed the shit out of my toe as I'm going to sit down.
Yeah, find that piece.
I got a
Oh yeah, so Jerk and Novak kind of not distracted by all of the
Chance.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, it still says Novak on the thing. She's
It
gonna
does
change
say
it
it.
one of these days, and I will stop calling her Novak when she changes it.
I don't know how
So-
to check it.
Oh well, that sucks, Novak. So
it's at
But
the,
what-
it's at the gear at the top.
yeah, you just gotta go change display name on your profile, I think. But what Jerk and Chance noticed, not being so kind of distracted by the scene or paying attention to Godwall in this conversation, you guys do notice a couple of guys wearing sort of dragon masks, dressed in a dark gray, kind of standing sort of opposite the two alkalites handing out bears. They're relatively being pretty quiet, but they are standing there kind of in a stoic, statuesque kind of way. Trying Novak, Chance kind
Does
of
Chance-
does it now. Awesome.
Yeah.
Chance time.
It didn't change it in the chat. So your old when I'm looking at your roll, your roll still says Novak. But anyways, you kind of notice them there, and you notice that they're kind of standing there trying to look intimidating. Kind of
Menacing, even.
menacing. Yeah, like I said, stoic, statuesque, seeming like they're definitely recognize that they are out of place and standing there, but they are being relatively quiet. But yeah, so Reach says he's like, all right, yeah, if you want to go see, if you'd like to go see the, Master Vicar on your own, you know where his where his office is, his quarters, I should say, and I'll be here if you need anything else.
Can I do something? What? Well, I'll.
Yeah.
I have a plan as to what to do because I assume that I will be out here for a while before I actually. Is Gabe with me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he's on your shoulder because it's not weird because you have apparently 2 owls on your shoulders.
I'm probably pretty standoutish in this scenario.
You've also got a ferret crawling all
Yeah.
over you.
I do have a ferret too. He's hanging out. So here's my thought is it's going to take a minute for you guys to get in, find who you're looking to talk to that person, whatever. While they're doing that, can I use the Medallion of Thoughts on one of these people in gray?
So you want to cast magic?
Well, so the Medallion of Thoughts, I can use 3 times. Is this 3 times in general, or no? Okay, at dawn it
You re-roll.
recharges. Cool.
Usually it's like if you use the last charge before dawn, you got to roll and see if it breaks.
Yeah. So, well, it's been a minute since I've used these charges because I had 2 charges still on it. But essentially, I can hear what they're thinking, and they only know that that's happening if I try to probe deeper.
So you want to here cast a spell with verbal and somatic components.
I don't know if it has verbal and somatic components though.
When
Let's look at it.
how does it work when you cast things from magic items? Is it
it
as
does-
casting
okay,
it as normal
it
unless
does
otherwise
have
stated?
verbal and somatic components. Yeah.
Because it does detect thoughts.
Yeah.
You could try to mask your casting of it in some way.
All right.
Throw your cloak over yourself like you're laying down.
I mean, what do druids do in just verdant areas in the middle of the city?
Well, I mean, I do have a cloak. Could I just pull my cloak around me? I mean, it's probably still kind of chilly out. And then I could do... And I don't have to, like, shout what I'm saying.
True.
So I could just kind of whisper to myself.
You're just trying to go unnoticed. And so...
and do everything under my cloak.
Yeah, so it'll be a stealth check. If you try to describe it in a way that would maybe help you, maybe you have an advantage on that.
Okay.
Like you're trying to hide a relatively small thing, like casting a spell through an item, throw your cloak around yourself.
Yeah. Okay, I'll try that. I'm gonna wait until you guys go in though.
All right. Well, I mean, so Godwald, are you just kind of hanging out next to Cleric Reesh?
Is he still with us?
I was hoping that one of you would remark on the figures so that I could also notice them before I went in. But if that doesn't happen, then I would continue with the plan.
I'll kind of poke you with my elbow and gesture, but I'm not going to be like obvious about it.
I mean, Chance has no idea what's normal in Temple and Faith.
I'm also
So
like
Right. Yeah. You got
standing
guys
there.
wearing dragon masks outside a dragon temple. Seems pretty normal to Chance.
Yeah. I feel like I would have actually noticed them just because I've seen them before.
Was I supposed to make a roll that I didn't make?
Yep.
Because I had to go use the restroom.
It was before that.
If you weren't here when I asked, but yeah, it was a perception check, a general perception check of being in this area.
I'd also like to ask this dude if any of the priests who have been here for a very long, let's say 15
You're kind of
years or
busy
so.
watching Godwald's interaction. What were you saying?
I'm gonna ask him if any of the priests that have been here for like 15 years or so are still around.
To reach? Yeah, there are. Yeah, there are several. At least 4 of that I can think off the top of my head that have been here that long.
Are they in today? I'd like to meet with them and speak with them.
Actually, I know several of the priests are out. Master Vicar is definitely in. I saw him recently. Master Ninzao may be in, but he's been out and about a lot lately. It's a weekday, so there's a lot of business going on. People traveling to and from.
We were gonna go see one of those 2, right? Well, Godwald was.
Both.
Okay, well, I'll tag along. I've got to have a quick word with them when we see
He
them.
throws out another name. You might find Master Tamiel.
Perfect.
He might be here.
You did
All
hear
right.
me say that kind of nudged you and
Then while you were talking with him, I would turn and look at these figures. Do they look similar to that one time we encountered a priest in a cave?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
is that
Oh yeah, they're wearing the same dragon mask. They're all wearing some variation of a cloak that looks as a dark gray leather that kind of seems almost like a draped dragon wing. But they're all definitely wearing the same dragon mask that you noticed from that cave with the orcs.
Then once Jerk was finished his sentence, I would Brother Reesh, who are those people?
They're these. It's like, I don't know. Maybe we should. I don't want to be too close to them when we talk about it. And he kind of ushers you away from the statue to come over here and whisper with him. And
Very well.
he leans in. He's like, there are these guys, this order, the Wearers of Purple, or something they call themselves. They're claiming to be like true dragon worshippers, and they've been in and around town a lot. A couple like a week or two ago, they showed up at the. They showed up not just in the city, but at the temple. I mean, like, man, if you go talk to them, they are Looney Tunes. I don't even know what that means.
You're saying these people showed up in the last 10 days or so? And they've been causing trouble?
20 days.
10 or 20 days or so they came into the city, and, maybe 15 or so days ago we started seeing them going into, like, the square in the Blue Lake district and trying to get converters to their purple church or whatever. They don't even wear purple. I don't understand.
I think I do more than I would like. But I think I should consult with Priest Vicar first.
Yeah, he could definitely tell you a lot more. I've just seen them. I hate them. They've told us to, they have the right to say what they want, and it's a public space. They can be there, but we're not very happy about it.
Neither am I. Thank you for this knowledge.
Of course. Yeah, we've tried to convince them to go away, but it's like talking to a crazy brick wall.
I can believe that.
I mean, thankfully, it doesn't seem like anyone's really listening to them that I've seen, so that's good.
You say they've been visiting other districts?
Yeah, they keep popping up in different places. Definitely in the Tower District, the Blue Lake District, and here, I never travel over to the chasm, but they're here in the Protector's Enclave. Obviously, he kind of points, and gestures his head over towards them.
Yes,
I've never really seen another group of followers try to encroach ground on another house of worship. It's a strange thing.
We're definitely times.
We're definitely concerned, but they don't seem like a threat.
These are strange times. I will consult with Priest Vicar, but I believe you have the right stance about their presence.
Oh yeah, I agree. All right, well, I'm gonna get back to handing out food, see if I can find any other people. I might grab a bushel and walk down the street. Goes back to his bushels, or Chance, Jerk, and Sparkle Gem are standing.
Tell him it's nice meeting you, man. Good
and
luck giving out
which
the food.
way? May I assume that this way leads to the entrance of the hall? Or is that
yep.
the other
Yep.
side?
Yep.
Then I would start heading in that direction, and Jerk, you can follow me at your leisure.
I will.
I'm not allowed to go along.
If you tag behind Jerk, no one is going to stop you unless you do something very suspicious
I am
or harmful.
going to continue making perception checks.
Okay.
I would personally like to be studying,
Ooh.
like including listening to just voices.
Okay. Are you going inside the temple, or are you staying out in the courtyard?
I planned on going with Oz if he would allow.
Okay. So it sounds like Talison's the one hanging outside.
Yep.
Okay.
Someone might want to stay with
I'm just gonna
Townsend.
move you. I'm just gonna move you guys up to up there. So I got you.
Well, I already
Forward-
asked
up to the
if I can go along, so it'd be
Sure.
weird if I stayed along or behind.
No, I'll be fine. There's a lot of people out here that are just kind of milling about. I just seem like you guys would see that I've pulled out a book that I have in my possession, and I'm just kind of like flipping through it. I just look like I'm hanging out reading, and also maybe homeless.
It's not one of those
Really
wizard
a
books
homeless
that
man.
we took off a corpse, is it? It's not like made out of skin or something.
It is.
No,
written-
it's
Is
the
it gonna be-
ebook.
Is it gonna become a person and kill us all?
It is written in Goblin, so no
Actually,
one
I
else
think-
will be able to read it.
Was that the one from the Necromancer?
The
What,
history
ebook?
of
Of Arthendal.
Arthendal.
Wasn't that one
Ah.
actually bound in skin though too?
No, that's the one that's in my possession. That's from the Necromancer. And it's one
you guys
page
picked up in Wave Echo.
that was. There's
Those-
one page in it that looks like it's almost a tattoo on human's flesh.
Okay.
Oh, I'm detecting a flaw. In the
We
plan.
found out it was written in a language none of us spoke.
So
God, stop it.
I don't think.
What's
what
happening?
is
I
the
don't know,
flaw
but
that you're
we've-
seeing?
How far can you read thoughts?
We've got a weird little
Yeah, that was weird. I was just trying to bring up the image, but it wasn't.
Yeah,
I
can
couldn't
you make
get
a,
off the
Is that how
Roll
big
20
the
was not.
image is?
As long as I can see them. Up to anything I can see within 30 feet. Well, I've been covered by this thing, so.
And if we put the sparkle gem at the far left of the group, we have our marching order.
What happened? Oh, okay.
Okay. So, I'm sorry.
Like now the list at the top is also the order, just in case that matters.
Okay, and you guys are walking through. All right. Let's see. So you guys enter enter the dragon temple. This main hall is massive. These huge columns. Generally, the place it's constructed of fine materials, but there's not a lot like around. You know, like there's sconces for candles. There's a few statues of figures from the history of the Hall of Justice, the heroes of Neverwinter and things like that. Those were left in again. The statue for Bahamut left outside. You see, in the one area there's a set of worshippers in the room being led by one of the priests. Jerk, you were continuing to roll perception checks as you keep looking for these guys, right? So roll me another one.
rolling the dice. That was bad.
He doesn't seem familiar, but it's kind of tough with everybody wearing pretty much, all the clerics wear generally the same thing. All the priests generally wear the same thing. So just looks like you had another priest, but there's someone leading a service over there. They're kind of talking about Bahamut and the great qualities he has, how he can save and protect people. But then as you guys kind of travel through this, you get towards the end of the hall where some of these rooms used to be, a long time ago, used to be like a courtroom and some other items, but now they're turned into the different headquarters for the different priests. Master Vikar's Civ's door is right where you left it, and it is left ajar, not entirely open, but it's obvious that his door is open to anyone to come in. You recognize what that signal means, that it's okay for people to enter. And otherwise, yeah, there's a lot of people milling about. It's a big structure, extremely open, tall ceiling. Perfect for a bird to fly through. You catch a couple moves, swooping by up there if you look around. You're like, oh, look, there's a bird in here.
I would head straight towards Priest Vikar's office. Even it's like with a will. Like
Let's go.
Even with current concerns, I've not seen this man in too long.
Yeah. So as you enter, as you come up to the door and you give a polite knock, you enter in and you see one of you see your old master, and actually, let me bring up the image. You're gonna laugh at this one because image I grabbed, I didn't realize wasn't just a pure PNG. Let's check this out. The background is there. The PNG that thing that's not actually a background. Whenever it uploads.
Can't wait.
Okay, well, that's not gonna load. So, I guess I'll describe. You see Master Vakar there in his white and gold robes.
There we go.
The priests wear mostly white.
Oh, I see what
There
you're
is.
saying.
He's got a nice checkered background. Perfect.
Right.
That fucking like realpng.com, but it's like not though.
Yeah, this isn't the PNG. The PNG is another one that I have to like pay for. I don't know. I just grabbed.
Yeah.
I just grabbed images off the internet that I think fit this. But as he sees you, he turns. His eyes light up with a big smile. As pulls up the tugs of his beard, wiggle, and his Godwald, my boy.
Hold on a second.
I'm so glad to see you here.
We have someone in the chat who said his name is Priest Vikar. Isn't that like having a cop named Sheriff?
I get it.
Does
Vikar means priest.
I'll
It's
type
a religious figure. Yeah, kind of.
That's what it could mean. It sounds like this.
Vicar. All right. Well, yeah. He turns. Eyes light up with the recognition and surprise. My boy, Godwald. It's so good to see you. It's been years. He gets up out of his chair. You see him kind of struggle as an old man, and he walks over, goes to embrace you with open arms.
I will return that embrace and say,
It
has been too long.
Ah, yes, it has been too long. And he gives you a good, firm hug. Not too long, not too awkward. Let's bet. Puts his hand on your shoulders and kind of sits back and looking at you, and it's like you. You seem taller. Like, have you grown?
I have been through a great deal, and I have seen things that I could not have imagined.
Ah, my boy, experience shows on your face. I wondered, have you found the answers to the questions you were looking for? Is that why you've returned to us?
No, I have made progress, but there is still much to learn. But I have heard some distressing news. May we speak privately?
Of course. Well, you could. I see you. Have you brought some others with you today?
Yes, these are. I would go to close the door. These are my companions. They have proven themselves to me, and they know what I wish to speak to you about.
Oh well, yes. Then come inside. Close the door behind you. Everything here will be kept between us. My boy, so many things have happened since you've been here. I hope you guys then. I hope close the door behind you and usher yourselves inside.
Yep. I'll close the door.
I imagine you may have noticed out front, but things have been a little odd here as of late.
Yes, what has the city come to that such people are right outside the temple halls?
Well, it seems like things have become just more difficult for us to continue spreading the word. This group calling themselves the wearers of purple, they're declaring themselves the true dragon worshippers in Neverwinter. They speak with people walking the streets in the Protectorate Enclave near the Hall of Justice. They stand out front and harass our parishioners as they come and join us. My old man voice moves up and down depending on how old manny I feel, but I'm feeling a little more old man now. You see, They're attempting to convert worshippers of Bahamut to become worshippers of all dragons, though they seem to be mainly based in Blue Lake and the Tower districts. They don't come here as often, except for what seems like a bit of a show. These events have been tumultuous, but I'm confident that several of the other priests and I have made the truthful and consistent expression of our beliefs, while 3 of the other priests' motives, they've come into question for me. Their suggested response to the sighting of a dragon in the Neverwinter Wood was a surprise, to say the least.
I have heard rumors in my travels that there was even an accusation against a priest of this temple. Please tell me of your suspicions.
What was the last part before? Please tell me your suspicions.
There was even an accusation against a priest of this temple that I heard on my travels. Please tell me of your concerns.
Well, perhaps I should just tell you about some of the things that have happened since you've been gone in these 3 years. I mean, you may or may not have noticed that several of the priests have changed. Unfortunately, we lost Brother Barbiel to old age and death. He succumbed to a weak heart. According to his wishes on his deathbed, the council decided to vote in his more liberal apprentice, the cleric, to be the position. So, it's Barbiel, and so cleric Anepiel, you may remember her. She's become a full-fledged scale bearer. So one of the priests that died has moved up. It's like, in addition to that, a few years ago, when we moved him up, discussion started to focus around certain texts and things for us to be concerned about. We then sent scale bearer Uziel along with his cleric, to go to Mount Hope now to investigate and see if we could find any evidence of the red dragon that had once lived there. Unfortunately, the light of their candles here in the temple went out. They died on their mission, and that was another hit to the church. Grave event. Sorrow rang throughout the city at his loss. And what we had to do, we oh my gosh, where is it? I have so many notes for this, and I've skipped around them because we've been asking different parts. But we decided to we ruminated on what to do, on how to replace the priest and his cleric without having a choice made ahead of time, and we ended up contacting the circle in Baldur's Gate, and they sent us Scalebearer Vicar, Scalebearer. Oh, bitch, where my notes go? Now, the remaining order of Bahamut Neverwinter ruminated on whom to elevate to the status of priests, and found an answer by reaching out to the temple in Baldur's Gate and receiving Brother Ninzao Silverbreath, an elf promoted to the priesthood 10 years ago, held in good graces by the order in Baldur's Gate. With these new priests, and the temple had lived, and we were being prosperous. Events were going fine and normally, but upon the rumors of a dragon appearing at Thunder Tree, a very important council meeting was held where we voted on how to advise Lord Protector Neverember. As you know, this council provides counsel to the Lord. Well, 4 of the priests voted to encourage the Lord Protector to form a party of strong adventurers to investigate and possibly run off the dragon and the cultists sighted near the ruins of Old Thunder Tree. Provided that the dragon was, of course, chromatic and not metallic. 3 of the priests voted against, stating that the Lord of Justice, Bahamut, would not judge or attack the dragon without first the dragon having attacked the citizens of Neverwinter, especially when no credible sources have been able to identify what kind of dragon is in the woods. One of the 3 dissenters, Ninzao Silverbreath, made passionate argument against sending forces against the dragon at Thunder Tree, speaking of a prophecy that the Order of Bahamut has wished to keep quiet, something foretelling of a war between dragons and giants. Neverember was moved by this and decided that the city would not intervene in the Neverwinter Wood, entrusting the safety of those near the forest to the Lord's Alliance guards on patrol and the citizen militia to protect the citizens themselves if anything were to go awry. He promptly increased protection to the concerned settlements, though, as an effort of showing that the strength of the city. This was probably the most challenging moment that we've had. The council has not disagreed this near a split vote in decades.
Thanks for the host, Ter. We miss you.
So yeah, so he kind of like gives you that kind of bit of information about those events. Did you ask about anything else in there? I'm sorry, I had to exhaust it for a little while.
I did not interrupt him, nor did I ask any clarifying questions until now.
Okay.
I have heard of the conflict between giants and dragons returning. There was a giant incursion at Tribor, which was successfully thwarted with the help of the town militia and myself and my compatriots. I will...
Though that is concerning for the land, I'd still see no reason to side with dragons that are not sanctioned by the Lord Bahamut.
I will confide in you that the accusation was against Priest Silverbreath. And
that is very concerning. And you yes?
And 3 years ago, on the Tribor, as we camped off the Tribor Trail, we encountered a man garbed similar to those who stand outside the temple. And he too professed faith in dragons that were not Bahamut.
Yes, this is very concerning. If the spread of mortal dragons, worship of mortal dragons comes, this is in direct opposition to Bahamut's wishes. None of them should be elevated to the level of our deity king.
You say the council wishes confirmation on the type of dragon before it will sanction further action?
Well, unfortunately, we've already given our advice to Lord Neverember and his Holiness. But this thing you're telling me about this priest and what he's done to one of our own is very concerning. If true, it could imply somehow someone that Ninzao may not somehow be worshiper Hamid, which is hard for me. It's a hard pill
Perhaps.
for me to swallow, coming so well recommended from Baldur's Gate.
Perhaps Priest Silverbreath was sent from Baldur's Gate, but the man who arrived here is not that man.
Seems like, from what you're telling me, that might be the case. But we need to find some kind of evidence or proof.
We have had past dealings with these purple people, and they're not above
Purple
hiring
people eaters.
the likes of goblins and orcs to help do their bidding. We found an ogre in their employ that we had to dispatch.
With their behavior and everything I've seen from them, that makes entirely a great amount of sense to me. I would believe that. But Godwald, is this true?
It is, but we have no proof. Nothing that would convince the council.
My concern has been that some of our priests may be influenced by other dragon worshippers. And with what you're telling me, that confirms this as well. Anyone who seeks to glorify these mortal dragons doesn't understand how in the wrong they are.
I spoke with Brother Rish on my way in. He said that this Order of Purple has been traveling further in the city away from the temple. I worry their words may be more received there.
It is definitely concerning. They call themselves these wearers of purple, but we know of no dragon worshippers that go by this name. Had they been the keepers of the horde, perhaps we would have recognized them, had some idea of what it is that their aims or their goals might be, but they almost seem to be new in some way. I would like, if possible, to see if we could investigate these three priests in any way, quietly, to find if there is any influence outside the order that directs their decision-making. But I want it to be known I'm very much against this getting out into the open. Dissent amongst the priests on themselves be detrimental to the order itself and our believers.
I agree and I understand.
Would you, with your years outside the temple and your adventures, would you perhaps know of such scoundrels with loose morals who would spy on a priest of a heavenly order?
Is that a fucking jab?
The rest of you are in the room. Do any of you respond before I do? Because I think about it for a moment on how to best respond to this question.
Jan's at school. He's just kind of like glancing around the room and hanging out.
Did you tell
Thanks for the
Civ
follow.
everything? Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just saying thanks for the follow. Over PBJ? I don't know.
Over PBJ.
Oh, okay. Thanks for the follow over PBJ. 2. Well, yeah. So he kind of goes on. He is inquiring.
I did not tell him about much of what's happened. That it was mostly mundane, and I did not tell him all the details of what happened to the priest to the person that I met. Did I get the rank of the person that I met?
Oh, he was an alkalite.
Okay, that makes
Silver
sense.
and Loom.
In the wrong place at the wrong time.
Mr. Loomshank was an alkalite. And actually, I would tell you. I think you just said that you told him that whole story, and we didn't roleplay that out.
I would have been vague.
Okay, so kind of
Like,
give me the short, vague
that,
version of what you would have given him then.
It's like I met an acolyte in Tribor who told me an accusation against the faith and integrity of Priest Silverbreath.
Well,
that
and did
he
you?
had been sent unwillingly on a pilgrimage that led him that far, and
Which
was compelled to do so.
do you remember the name of this brother? Do you know where he is? His testimony, if true and valid, would certainly give credence to any other evidence we may find.
He I left him to recuperate in the care of someone I trust, but he did not seem eager to speak against a priest of this temple without more substantial proof.
I certainly understand, as I share this feeling. Well, do you think you know anyone who might be able to help us with this? I'd like to ask you to do the order a few favors. I think you coming here at this time is a sign from Bahamut. It's a sign from Bahamut! I'm old! I keep forgetting I'm old!
I'll be
I
back
can
in
admit
5.
that among my companions are those with skills that I lack that have been used for intelligence gathering in the past. I cannot volunteer their services simply on my own behalf.
I'm going to ask Vicar if he remembers
Wait, it's just Vicar now. All right.
Haslik and Jovina Windrider and the incident that occurred with them.
And who and the incident that occurred with them?
Haslik and Jovina Windrider. My parents.
Is this in your backstory?
Your last name Windrider?
Oh. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. I was totally not prepared for that one. So I'm having this other conversation, and that's really just my brain can't do that right now. Come back.
Well, that leads
At this
into
point,
this.
I would be trying to
tell him-
segue into one of them.
I was going to tell him I owe them if he remembers it. So.
Okay. So you bring up your last name,
Yeah.
and what it was, and in response, when him asking this question, hey, some of my friends may have these skills, and you say something like, you like stop this conversation about this other priest thing, and you say something like what, so I can respond to it. He asked if he knows anyone who might have loose morals, just scoundrels with loose morals who might be able to perform a task like spying on a priest.
Okay, well, I'll just tell him I owe you one, so yeah, I'm in. Do you remember the incident with the Windriders about 15 years ago?
How old are you when that happened? 15 years ago, huh? All right.
I'm only 20. I'm like 23, so I was a kid.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Oh, the Windriders. The Windriders. Well, yes, that was quite the traumatic event, and you're that young boy.
I am, and yeah, so I'm in. I owe you one.
Well,
if you could give me any
I remember your
what
father
happened,
well.
that would
I
be-
remember your father well. He was a good man.
Did you ever find out who was responsible for outing my mom and all that?
As you may or may not recall, due to your age, the event was quite traumatic. During a service, your mother was called out and exposed as... sorry, I don't know a better word for the creature that she was. And...
Oh, you mean a loyal worshiper of Bahamut?
I mean a succubus. I mean a creature with succubus blood.
Okay.
And upon seeing that in the middle of the service, it was all very fast. But the crowd turned on your mother, as she was taken away, and given to the city, and the city then executed her. The similar decisions were being thrown about by the populace as to what should be done with your father and you. And he was not forgiven. But I remember being there and arguing with several of the other priests vehemently that a child, no matter who they are, is still a child and could not be considered to have betrayed the church in such a way.
Well, just between you and me, you've done
mob mentality is a terrifying thing.
You've done very well keeping me alive. I've helped conquer evil all over this great nation of ours, this great continent. We've even gone to other dimensions.
A blessing from Bahamut, for sure.
Alright, so yeah, I owe you guys one. If you can remember any of the specifics about that, I'd like to find out who exactly was responsible for exposing her in the middle of a service.
We'll certainly put effort into seeing if it's anywhere on record.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Of course. I'm glad to see that the child has grown into a man. Yeah. And that you're still here and doing good. Is he traveling with you, Godwald? Are you teaching him our ways to defend the weak, uphold justice?
He has saved my life at least once.
And
stamp out evil wherever
it
rears its many heads.
I do not agree with all of his methods, but he has saved my life at least once, and he watches my back.
Well, if Godwald trusts you all, I'll trust you all as well. And I would say that the task that I've been thinking of this for some time, praying that Bahamut would show me a path to this occurring. I feel there are two groups that could be investigated, and in 3 different locations. I believe perhaps you could investigate the priests themselves, perhaps their rooms, perhaps if there's some way to get to know them or know information from them. I'm really unaware. But also these wearers of purple. Here in Neverwinter, if you could perhaps find out who they really are, as I do not believe that a dragon cult, as I'm going to call them, of this size could appear out of nowhere. I believe they're hiding their identity. What their purpose is, and who's leading them. These are important pieces of information that could help us then find if there's any more influence happening to our priests. Or perhaps, as you've now suggested to me, that one of our own is not who they say they are.
So, I have been away for some time. Can you describe to me these priests, their demeanor, which rooms are theirs?
All right, I've messed up some of these names, so I'm going to redo them now. So, you're already aware of Scalebearer Nintao. There's also Scalebearer Anapiel, who voted along with him, and I'll put this in the chat too. Anapiel, who has who voted with him as well. She is a dwarf woman. I'm gonna type that in my notes too. Dwarf woman. Dwarf woman. Dwarf woman. You could recognize her as a dwarf from the other, from perhaps other dwarves and alkalites, but she's the only woman with a beard here in the temple. There's also the last one.
I'm gonna be laughing about Dwarf for way too long.
Dwarf. There's also Scale Bearer Uziel. I want to give them a race that's not boring, but all I can do is human.
That sounds like
Scale-
a tiefling name.
Scale Bearer Uziel. There aren't that many tieflings. Human cleric. You recognize him by his long dark hair. And of course, Ninzao, a high elf who has long silvery hair. And of course, they're all wearing our traditional garb. You can easily identify them by our robes, such as the ones that I'm currently wearing. And maybe it gives you some description of facial features that I don't have or something, so that you feel confident enough that you could identify this person. The other thing that I think would be important to know about to help continuing to unravel this mystery that seems to knot itself up further would be to head to Thunder Tree, and if a dragon is indeed there, to find out what kind of dragon it is, chromatic or metallic. And if it is, find out what its purpose is in nesting in the Neverwinter Woods. Has it started a horde, or more concerningly, a rookery?
Would any of you remember any of the things I've told you about this?
About what? Probably not.
That's all I'm giving you.
Intelligence checks. There's something I need to remember. I can't remember what it is. You can give me a straight intelligence roll.
Don't you guys remember
Great
me
die
telling
roll.
you the stories of
History.
tripping my balls off on mushrooms?
I mean, kind of. Woo, a 16.
Oh.
You remember that Taliesin told you something in his hallucinogenic dream, but you're not quite sure. Godwald, do you remember the details of his dream as you were fascinated by it? So yeah, Taliesin, if you want to go ahead and tell him what you remember from your visions.
Well, I was gonna say, it sounds like they're trying to discern on what kind of dragon it is, and I do remember it being a green dragon. So, that would be a chromatic dragon.
Are green dragons chromatic, or are they just...
Yeah, they're not.
If it's not a metal,
Oh yeah,
then
I guess you're
it's-
right.
Yeah,
It's a color.
so you guys would know that it is a green dragon. At least as long as you can trust my psychedelic trips.
Yeah, I mean, if I remember that dream correctly, it was a whole bunch of little dragons that formed
They
into
were-
a big dragon or something like that.
But they were all green.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also had a second one where a little frogman told me to come find him.
After taking the equivalent of peyote.
That's essentially what I've been doing.
Look, it's totally valid form of information gathering in D&D, okay?
Yes. I am
Getting stoned as fuck and having a vision.
I am a druid. This is just kind of how we do.
Okay, then here's how I'll phrase it because of
Okay.
the source and the detail.
Mm-hmm.
One of my companions, who is not among us today, is a practitioner of druidic arts. He has always been in touch with nature and has felt changes happening on the land. Usually, he's only told us of vague premonitions, but there was once, some time ago, when he came to me and said he had had a vision of a rookery of green dragons.
Well,
I
this would be concerning,
have
as
I
you
have no
well know,
proof.
as
And-
Godwald would well know. Oh, you have no proof. Sorry, go ahead. I don't mean to interrupt.
I at least am willing to investigate. But are there any measures you can take that would not require council approval and would better prepare the church and the city for such events.
Prepare the city for you heading out on an adventure?
For
a dragon attack.
for these purple-wearing people suddenly having much more credence to their tales,
I see.
as if witnesses suddenly report small green dragons in the countryside.
What I would say is, with evidence of such a thing, we could definitely sway the Lord Protector and advise him, I feel, with evidence, that this is of much greater concern than he has given it in the past. I would also say that Lord Neverember is not a timid man, and though his response was not to attack the dragon, or really do enough of anything, in our opinion, he definitely showed force by increasing the number of guards and in the city, and also calling out and organizing the local militias in the smaller towns, and sending the Lord's Protectors details from inside the city to areas outside the walls. So, but if it is true, and there is a green dragon nesting with a rookery of eggs, it would be, I mean, well, as you know, Godwald, and I suppose for non-worshippers here, pointing to Chance and Sparklegem, it's like dragons historically split between metallic dragons and chromatic dragons. Chromatic dragons are of color, who lean towards and align themselves with the dead dragon god Tiamat. Metallic dragons, on the other hand, mostly align themselves with the god king Bahamut.
Now, we do
Usually,
have information about where these purple people are coming from and where the dragon is nesting. There have been sightings in Thunder Tree, and
yes.
we've actually... Okay. I wasn't sure if you knew that part of it.
The rumors that caused us to have that conversation and that meeting were based out of these events coming in Thunder Tree. Though it's not widely spoken about in public circles, leadership in the city knows about it and is agreeing to Neverember's decision to hold and stay strong rather than making a move. Yeah, but yeah, I would say that for me, one of the most important things is cautious that this doesn't come back to us, as the congregation may not understand the lengths that we're willing to go to protect them and the order.
I understand.
We do not want to besmirch Bahamut's name by making false accusations. We need evidence, proof, so that we can bring and show. So I ask you this, Godwald, as a cleric of our order, will you find Ninzao's true intentions, investigate the other priests that he has on his side, and to perhaps find out and prove what's happening in Thunder Tree? The ruins of that old city?
I will do it.
I thank you, and I will pray for you the entire time that you are gone, that you succeed. And of course, anything I can do to help. I may not be very spry at my age, but I'm sure I can assist you youngins in some way. And Sparklegem, Chance, you recognize that this man is very old. Like, he's probably like as a human being, like kicking it up in his 90s. So he's thin, he is not spry and not going to be much help in the battlefield, but
He basically looks like the Crypt Keeper.
There's a picture of him right
thin.
there.
Well, I know,
it
but
just-
I'm just saying, like,
He
that
looks like a
thing.
Crypt
the garb is intended to kind of cover up any like things, right? Shoulder pads make his shoulders look broad when they're not. Drapery makes him look wider than he is when he isn't.
Yeah.
He's an
There's
old
a
man.
reason that I
So
had a decent amount
he's-
of self-study.
Well,
So
I'll
he
just-
smells like an old person and doesn't move very quickly.
Hmm.
So even when he was moving around the room, he was very like.
Crickety.
Watch him be like a 9th level caster, though.
This isn't Omashu.
I'll just ask him, I guess, if he could keep an eye on
That's a good one.
Silver Breath, and
I, of course, will continue doing my own investigation as I can and is what is available to me.
we kind of suspect that he has a disguise spell or something on. He's reported to be a dragonborn, so he's not at all what he appears.
It's interesting. The most vocal and the most dangerous of this. I'm just going to keep calling them a cult. The most dangerous of this cult is a dragonborn. They've been seen in the city inciting violence, and the city watch is actually looking for them.
Have they ever been seen in the same place as Silverbreath at the same time?
I cannot recall that happening, but I've never actually seen this dragonborn with my own eyes. If you think they're the same person, perhaps you could try to get them in the same room.
That's a good idea.
Or it's like, alright,
I'm gonna Scooby-Doo this shit. And Taliesin can be our talking dog.
I will begin work on this immediately. I will.
I appreciate this greatly. It's so good to see you. I wish we could have met again under better circumstances, but I do feel like you being here is the will of Bahamut, and that this will lead us to finding out the truth.
Oh, hey, by the way,
I will do all I can.
we know someone who's stuck in a jar. If you know any like really great magicians who can unbind that, or have any ideas of how we get him out of a sealing jar, that'd be fantastic too.
I'm not familiar with what that object is, but
I will pull it out.
if you can bring it here, you have it?
I've been carrying it.
Oh, right, because it's shrunk down.
Yes. My brother, this artifact seems to draw him in. And one moment he was there, and the next, there was only this. But take care. Do not touch the lid.
Oh, he was going for it. So, if I touch the lid, something happens?
That was the last thing he did.
He turned to spaghetti.
He seemed to stretch and shrink.
Like a black hole, spaghettified.
I do not like to think of it.
Oh, I'm sorry, son. But your brother is trapped here. This is terrible. Would you like me to try to study it and see what I might be able to find about the magic that is contained within?
Oz to Jared, is this what you want me to do?
I have zero care, concern if you do or don't.
Fair enough.
I mean, the player Pubert isn't coming back anytime soon, so it won't change that.
Yeah, that is. I admit that is part. Then And
But it could work. We
from
can
what
get
I-
out. And maybe Pierre just hangs out in Neverwinter all the time. I don't know.
Do it.
I mean, we can
it.
now that we can easily get back here to pick him up if we need to.
Hmm.
And this being someone that I learned how to be studious and understand magic from, then I would say yes.
I will.
Yes, if you believe you can help, please.
I will definitely take the greatest of care with your brother, and he was inside this tiny jar, and I will do everything in my power to study the magics that are here, and tell you if there's... I'd like to find out if there's any religious significance to the artifacts, perhaps if it's sourced in divine magic, and whatever I can. This is a perfect. What a blessed day. If I can help you with this and you can help me with that, the scales are balanced.
His name is Pubert Piddenbottom of the Lord's Alliance, and my magic could still reach him. And where he is, somehow.
Ah. Perhaps the jar was an entryway to another place.
I thank you for this.
Of course, I'll do like I said, everything that I can do. I will devote time to this whenever I can. If you can do these things, keep your friend in Phandalin safe there until we can gather more evidence and may need his testimony in front of the council, then I turn to you and ask if there's anything I can do for you, Godwald, or your traveling companions.
Well,
If you need lodging for the night, or while you're here in the city, sure we can find bunks for you in the cleric's room.
we're actually set up.
If there's
pretty
any
well.
food we can feed you, we can definitely feed you from the cafeteria. So,
So I just tell him, you've got my request. I just want to know more about my parents and what actually happened, why they were outed. And I also
I'll
wanted to
see if
thank
we
you
can-
for
if
making
it's-
sure that they got buried instead of dumped in the ground unceremoniously.
of course, I never thought they were bad people. It was a tragic thing that happened to them, and they are missed. And we're glad their bodies were set to rest in a place where perhaps their souls were able to move on and join Bahamut in his realm. Yeah. So, since you're here in town, have you eaten anywhere good? Have you brought me anything fun? Any souvenirs?
I could give him some teeth.
Yeah.
Any interesting tales from your travels? You've been gone for so long. You must have. I mean, your brother's in a jar. You must have had so much to tell.
It was slightly longer for you than us. We spent about a year and a half in another dimension. We had contact with the dark god Gramoosh, necromancers. Yeah, it's been it's been eventful since I met your boy Godwald.
You've fought against the Alkalites of Gramoosh, the orc god of destruction.
Yeah.
It's incredibly impressive.
We found a belt,
You
and
must be guided by Bahamut's hand to confront such evil.
At one point, we found a belt in another dimension, and I put it on, and it was like it was wearing me. It hit me a lot when I didn't do what I
Sounds
wanted.
terrifying.
It was. It was a jerk.
I wonder if we'll ever find out what happened to Our poor clerics, their candles going out was all the word we ever found out about them. Perhaps they were
Probably not.
transported to another plane and encountered a dark god. It's a terrible, terrible fate you've suffered. But you're alive. You can embrace your life and continue living and in serving justice. I don't know. What was funny? I missed it.
God, he wasn't going to bring that up.
Oh, and too many chats for me to follow.
It's fine. How this has gone is fine.
All right, well, I'm done talking, so I'm going to bid him a fond farewell, give him finger guns, and then walk out the door.
Here, please, before you all leave, I would like to perform a ceremony to give you Bahamut's blessing.
All right.
If that's so, then may I call upon...
Would I know if this would mess with my powers in any way?
Find out.
May I call upon a companion who is meditating in the courtyard?
Sure, certainly. You have more friends, and you didn't bring them to meet me?
I'd like to tell Gabe to tell Taliesin to come inside. The plan has changed.
Of course I want to meet your friends, Godwald.
I'd like to tell Gabe to tell Taliesin to come inside. The plan has changed.
So, yeah, I mean, after like a minute or two, you see a dude in like a fucking owlbear skull headdress.
I tell you,
a bunch of furs and shit. Just like walk inside.
And you are greeted with this priest of Bahamut wearing this like ornate robe thing. That's probably the exact opposite of how you look.
I open one of the office
like the Crypt Keeper.
I open one of the office doors, and that is what you see. And you just walk right inside, where the rest of us are.
Welcome, friend. It's so good to meet Godwald's friends.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you as well. A nice robe.
He never had a lot of friends here. I'm so glad to see that he's made so many.
Wow, he's like an uncomfortable uncle, isn't he?
It's rather insensitive, but all right. Godwald's a good man.
He's the finest. I know I've chosen such a great cleric. I so look forward to the day when you find your answer, Godwald, and that we can send you to the role of Scalebearer.
What?
Oh, it means he'd be a priest.
No, that's not what I was wanting.
Yeah, I get it, but I responded to you because your mic was open. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I saw the stream go down, so that's why I went, but
oh, no.
Twitch has been having issues all week. Several groups are blaming the Fortnite changes.
Yes, that makes sense.
But we don't play Fortnite, so that's not our problem.
There was a limited access event in-game, and so in theory, the rest of the teams will be trying to watch streams of it. And so issues have been happening since Tuesday, I've been hearing.
That's
what was he inviting you in here to do and say? Oh, so yeah, if anyone would like to accept the favor of Bahamut, then I would gladly like to perform this ritual.
Chance is gonna raise his arm. Let's say he's like sitting on the ground near Oswald because he's kind of in charge in this group right now. Be like,
one? I just need to know how many to have enough material for everyone. Did anyone else accept this gift from our great lord?
I will accept your great
gift. Of course.
Sure.
Couldn't be worse than the belt.
1, 2, 3, 4. Young lady, is it? And that hood, it's tough to see your face.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, waiting for a response to a question.
I'll just kind of be like, yeah, let's get this over with.
Wonderful, wonderful. You see him go over. He gets out several gold dragons, which in D&D world, dragons are gold coins. So he gets out several gold coins that have a dragon emblazed on them. You see him bring out a bowl with the thing set above it, and he ignites a flame underneath it and sets the coins in the bowl. The flame sparks a kind of greenish flame, and kind of sparks flying off of it. Seems a little unnatural, but it's not extremely bright, and it's not a very large flame. And as you watch the gold coins, as he's praying over the bowl, the gold coins all melt down into liquid gold. And as he finishes up a prayer, he dips his thumb into the gold and brings you over. Godwald first. He makes a gesture and presses a gold mark into your forehead. And anyone else who accepts it, he comes along and does the same. So since you all...
Chance raises his hand like, hey, can I get it like on my hand or something? Because I don't know what that's going to do to my fur.
Unfortunately not, young man, as he goes and moves his finger towards your face. It's up to you. It's up to you to take it or not.
I guess I'll take it.
All right.
My ears are like flat because it just smells like my burnt fur.
Little gold smear on your head now. All right.
So
it's kind of
like
hardens up really fast. He does the same to everyone else, and what you guys find is that...
Do you take off your hood?
He's got to lift it up, put it on your forehead.
CJ.
CJ
was muted.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll like pull it back just slightly.
Yeah. And you guys... Oh, go ahead.
I would say, so I guess my gold skin is showing now, and this is just going to disappear on my gold forehead.
Though it... Yeah, maybe even a slightly different tone, but yeah, no, the metal just kind of like sticks on your head like paint. Everyone, you know that he melted down gold coins through a magical flame and some prayers. But what you'll find is if you all refresh your sheets, you all have inspiration for the session. Taliesin already had it, so he didn't need to come back in from the thing. Actually, real quick, Taliesin, since you wanted to do the Ring of Mind reading now, and this is ending up, before you entered into this room, just roll the stealth check with advantage, because if you were covering yourself up with your cloak before you used it.
Yeah, well, I was also hoping to use the... Regardless, the end result was to get advantage. I was hoping to read the book so that my verbal stuff was like, I'm just reading.
This is a stealth check to see if anybody noticed you casting magic, since there is a no casting magic policy in the city right now.
Right.
So you have advantage on that. If you're reading the book to edit on the roll for the mind reading.
I was basically reading the book so that if somebody saw me like talking, it looked like I was just reading. Although I'm using clearly like the verbal command stuff.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. Well, then under the same thing, you kind of hide the. Is it an amulet, right?
Yeah, it's an amulet.
Underneath something so that the glow doesn't show up. And
yeah, it's under my cloak. So I got a 15.
Okay, and so that's against my what? What do I have to roll?
Perception?
To see if... Oh, okay, this is just to see if I noticed you casting a spell on me. Alright.
Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, just...
No, yours roll, that stealth roll, yeah, you successfully cast the spell without anyone noticing.
Okay.
Do you approach?
So, what... No, I mean, I would get within range, I guess, to cast this, which is 30 feet. I don't know if I need to move or not.
You were 60 feet.
Okay. So, sure, then I would approach to go do that. So I don't think... So the way that this works is, again...
Just read it real quick.
You initially learn the surface thoughts of a creature and what is on its mind at that moment as an action. You can either shift your attention to another creature's thoughts or probe deeper into that creature's. If you probe deeper into the creatures, they have to make a wisdom saving throw. So initially, they don't actually have to do anything unless I try to probe deeper.
And there is no save.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would
So
I could essentially, before I go in, go through all three of them and see what they're thinking at that moment.
So sitting on the edge of the green, you look out at the purple-wearing people.
Yeah.
As you kind of look out at the first of the three, and you read his thoughts, he's mostly just like, oh, I'm so sick. I'm sick of standing here. Like I'm gonna be here all day. I can't believe this is gonna be a couple more hours. Like I can't believe this could be a couple more hours. Ugh. And it's kind of quietly thinking that to himself. One of the others, on the other hand, you hear in the center one's mind, "Blessed are the ignorant, for they shall be shown the light. Blessed are the unseen, for they are the prophets. Blessed they are for the past, for they understand. Blessed they are for sinners, for they have reached understanding." And he's kind of reciting a line. Or part of script, trying to memorize it. And the last one, and I gotta find my guy because we're gonna get a little bit. Where'd he go? All right. The last one is sitting there asking himself. He's sitting there and he's just like, man, when are the rest of them going to show up? Where is Warder? I feel like this is too late. Warder.
Is that like Warder or?
It's put in the Roll20 chat.
Sorry.
Warder. Where is Warder?
Oh, yeah, I got it right.
And so he asked that, and he's asking like, when are the rest? When's everybody else showing up? Where's Warder? Warder's late. Those are your surface thoughts from the three of them.
I mean, I've already gone inside, so I can't choose to do anything really.
Okay.
But
yeah. So then you have that information when you go back inside.
Yeah.
And you're talking to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, as you guys are in the temple, and he's like, "It's so good to see you. I'm so glad to see Godwald's friends. Can I offer you anything to eat or drink? Is there? Would you all like to see the garden out back? It's beautiful. It's where we grow most of the food for the group here at the temple. We also collect donations from various peoples around the city, and we end up with some very nice things that we then try to give out to the less fortunate. And if you fall in that category, I would gladly give you what we have. It's offering you a meal. It's probably about noon at this point in the day.
Sure.
Sure.
I'm
I like
used
to
to
eat.
it. I remember this food, not fondly, but it was what I knew.
Come with me.
Chippy
Yeah,
on
we'll
toast.
go to the cafeteria.
And also, I would start following him, and once he was a few steps away, like, he gets few visitors. Would you please, for me?
He doesn't get a son, I guess, really.
Yeah.
You are kind of like, to him, you could tell from the way that he treats Godwald that he treats him like family.
Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with going.
Oh, great. You guys go to the cafeteria. It's a line. They're putting out soup, and it's got some stuff in it. And if you poke around and look at, in your bowl, you can find, chunks of beef, carrots, and things. There's loaves of bread that have been broken off into individual pieces that they're asking people to take some from. Very low key, but good. So yeah, you guys get a free meal out of visiting the temple, and you sit inside on long cafeteria type tables that worshippers are eating at, and it's actually pretty busy because about the time of day, it's time for a second meal. So it's pretty packed. People going around, give me a couple like waves and nods, and you see one of the other priests come inside.
Is it one that I know? Is it one that Jerk would know? One of or he roll?
You would probably remember. Either of you could roll for perception to see if you recognize him. Which one he is, wearing these similar robes.
That is my second one today.
Boy, it's not like you have inspiration you're sitting on.
Oh, hey, okay.
Cool. 15.
Or you might want to keep it. I don't know. Yeah, 15. You recognize them as locations: Dragon Temple, scroll. Too far. Scroll back up. Master Tamiel.
Tara says the soup is a trap.
Might be.
Let's see.
Does the soup?
No,
have
it's good
banana?
soup. It's church soup. They've been doing this. They've been doing this all the time. No matter what ingredients they get, they know what to mix in when.
Yep. And would Jerk know that person? Have they been there for that long?
Godwald, knowing that Jerk has been looking for different priests, and you both notice him, and Jerk kind of like leans over. He's like, "Do you know which one that is?" And you mentioned like, "Yeah, that's Master Tamiel."
Is he one of the big four?
He's one of the four that you would.
This is an anime.
It's the name that you remember.
Yep. These are the big four.
The big four are the priests that we like. Those are the big four.
I don't remember. Are these the people that helped you, or
are we in Kill La Kill now?
I don't remember the entire story, but I don't remember everything that you said because I got it in bits and pieces. But did they like condemn your mother, or
no? They weren't able to save my family, but they were able to save me and make sure that my parents got buried with actual headstones instead of in the pauper's grave with the trash.
But why four? Because
I think Jared said those four were there. There's four left that were there for a long time.
There are three that have changed in the last 3 years.
And four that are still around from when I was
15 years ago.
Yeah.
So he was probably a little too old for you to like recognize off the bat. It's not someone you see all the time or that you recognize, but because you knew that he points them out. And so yeah, Scale Bearer Tamiel is in the cafeteria.
Well, do you have anything to talk to him about? Do you trust this one?
He was always fair.
He's on the list of four that Civ Vicar is saying is voted along the way that he thought they would vote.
So the four old were all voting together, and the three new were all voting together.
Yep.
Which, putting that together makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Like that. He was always fair with me. I don't have any reason to distrust him.
Okay. Well, I will approach him.
So you will pick up your tray.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pick up my convict tray.
Pick up your tray. Go over. He's sitting at the head of one of the long cafeteria tables. There's a lot of people going around him and making small talk about the temple and things as you come over. Seats are kind of filled next to him, but you are standing there with your tray.
I will just say, Scale Bearer Tamiel, it's been a very, very long time. I'm glad to see you well.
He looks up at you and his first surprise. It's like, son, I'm sorry, I don't recognize you off the bat, though. Yeah, I would think perhaps I would. So my apologies. It's definitely on me for not knowing whom you are.
Let's say you and your 3 remaining brothers here saved my life. So I wanted to come by and say thank you.
Saved your life. I have to admit, I've had very few chances as a priest here to save many lives here.
You'll probably remember an incident where someone was exposed as something that I don't know how to say this. My mom was a demon and she got exposed during the middle of a service. They were killed, but you were able to save me. So I just wanted to come by and say thank you.
My boy, and he immediately just like kind of pushes the tray aside, pushes his chair back, and he goes up and he's like, I'm so sorry I didn't recognize you. It's like, I'm so good to see that you're alive and well and safe, and he embraces you in a big ol' hug that literally gave me goosebumps. I don't know if you can see that. That was weird. I don't know why the idea of a guy giving you a hug was emotional to my body, but it was. But yeah, embraces you a big firm hug. Is just like, I'm so glad to see that you're alive. Like, does this mean that you've come back to Bahamut?
I'm actually here with the cleric of the order who's come back. We've been traveling together. He's become family to me, and we're just in town. This is the first time I've been back in quite a while. And it's the first time I've visited the church since the incident. So, I wanted to thank you and the other 3. I've already met with. Oh shit!
Car.
Yeah, I've already met with Vicar, and I gave him my thanks as well. I'm just hoping to recognize the other 2 scale bearers that were around, so I could thank them as well.
Well, that's wonderful. I hope you can stay for a service, or perhaps come at the beginning of the 10-day when we hold our largest service. You can see the congregation together. It's quite the impressive sight. Find some fellow people who, believe like you do and have been saved by Bahamut in the past.
Okay, well, that sounds good. I'm going to go back to Godwald and have our lunch.
Church people want to church you.
Yeah, again, thank you so much for, making sure that I was safe and that the family name was shown at least a modicum of respect.
I'd like to thank you for coming back here today and showing me that, my faith has not gone unfounded. There are good reasons for the things that we do.
Finger guns and... Oh, wait. There is one thing I've always...
Would you like to join me to eat? We can talk about Bahamut all day.
He gestures.
Sit! And he gestures, and people scoot down the table to make a spot for you. And he sits.
Yeah.
If you'd like, you could spend the whole day here. We could talk about Bahamut just forever.
I have some business to attend to.
Okay.
But I hope to see you at service.
Wonderful. It starts at...
well, I only give him one finger gun 'cause I'm holding
evening
this
starts at sunset. Well, I'll be looking for you.
Alright, later.
And
So
then
do you
people
come
scoot back
I come
back
back.
over on
I
the
go-
table like, oh, okay, I guess he's not really actually cool.
I go,
And it's like, meanwhile,
yeah.
Yep, alright, yeah, you guys got a good meal? You had some food?
it's like, while he's doing that, I would spend that time catching up Taliesin.
Bit of Taliesin?
Like, there's
Yeah, 'cause
There's so
No, there's a terrible
there's are
idea. You're right.
actually so there have, since I left the temple, there have been 3 new priests made, each under different odd circumstances. They have all been voting together against the 4, for lack of a better word, incumbent priests. And it is the 3 that have been voting against greater action against the dragon rumors and other things. And it is one of the 3 that we came here to investigate, so I'm worried they are all working together. And thus learning about and thus they could be having these discussions wherever they take their meetings rather than in their own offices.
So the hungry
My
looking priest sitting next to you, shamming food in his face. Chance,
My
you
ma-
smell fish.
Ears perk up.
Fish.
so there's okay. So there's
I
3.
I'm inching forward towards
My
the
master
fish.
suggests
It's coming from the kitchen.
that we either perform further research here
Oh, somebody better catch
or
me.
where the
I'm
rumors
like,
are coming from.
I'm
And
just kinda...
I would ask you,
Quick side stealth roll.
from what you know,
Got a perception of 26. I notice her going for the fish.
Wait, maybe.
Let me check my stealth.
Yeah.
Hold on.
You should get stealth above this.
7, 8. Okay, hold on.
What is
Oh,
Godwald
wait.
asking me?
I would, of the 2 plans that my master suggested, researching here in the temple to find the source of the rumors, or going to the source of the dragon rumors and bringing back physical evidence, which would you suggest we follow? As you seem to know more about the exact threat than I do.
So you're saying either
Oh. Most people don't notice Chance, but Jerk does.
I'm gonna go with him.
so do you
Stealthily
mean
or not?
Oh
Here,
yeah.
we'll do that in the chat. Let him talk.
do you mean that our choices are either stay here and do some research, possibly, maybe try to figure out if we can catch these 3 in some sort of act that would I guess proclaim their how that they are guilty, or go to Thunder Tree and see if we get evidence.
Yes, they are voting in a block, and they must be communicating, but that block cannot be broken from without, except if we had something to present. If we had something to present that could break that block from within, that could save us travel and present its own dangers.
Why don't we stay here and see what we can find here? If we don't find anything within the next couple days, then we head out to Thunder Tree and just see if we can find my contact there.
I would agree with that. They should all be at the evening service tonight.
All right. So while they're all at the evening service, maybe one of us can see if we can find any sort of correspondence within their chambers to Thunder Tree, or anybody being involved with these wearers of purple.
Did you happen to learn anything about them?
2 of them were just kind of, well, one was just annoyed with being there. The other one was mainly just memorizing a prayer. But one was asking where Warder was, saying that Warder was late. I don't know who Warder is, but it sounds like they're expecting at least one, if not more, of their kind to show up.
Would I have any idea what that word would mean? Does it have anything to do with the temple?
No. From your gathering, it was someone's name, Taliesin.
Yeah, it's so. I'm assuming another cultist.
Well, the service has always been open to all, so anyone could arrive and be allowed into the hall.
Well, hey, I mean,
Yeah.
Did you get the impression they would act when this happened? And will they act today? They've been seen around town for, well, at least a 10-day.
I can only surmise that him seeming, the one that was seeming, either he was waiting to be relieved of his duty of standing there, or he is waiting for this person because some action is going to take place once this person and or unknown other amounts of people show up from their cult. So I'm gonna guess the latter. Maybe they are planning something and they're just waiting for the other people to show up to do something. I don't know what that would be.
So either they're simply
Okay.
going to leave, or something will be happening, and it will be happening here.
yes, I don't. Here's the thing: is I mean, I don't think they would attack in the middle of a city, but I also am not a cultist, and maybe they would. I don't know. Like, I don't know what these people. I don't know what these people are about.
As you're discussing this, you hear there's a lot of voices in the cafeteria. So it's it's kind of loud, just generically like a cafeteria is. But you start hearing some shouting from outside. You start hearing some noise and chanting.
My instinct would be to leave the rest of my food for the acolytes, as I've been taught, and to investigate this.
I would go with them.
If the three of you see the two of us put down our food and start heading back towards the entrance, and there's a loud noise, would you follow?
I don't think they're in the same room as us.
I think they left and went out to get some fish, and it looks
that makes
like Chance went straight for them, and she was able to find the fish. Because your first roll was 25, so your perception, you were definitely able to find the fish, and if you were following her jerk as you guys kind of like wait for kitchen staff to like move from the side, and you're sneaking along behind countertops and stuff, she is able to like get to a bin. It's basically like a barrel. There's some water in that barrel, and there are fish in that barrel.
Are they alive or are they like half frozen?
They are alive in that barrel. They're fresh. Someone has brought fresh fish. Might be on the dinner menu for tonight.
Not anymore. I remind Chance that we are in a church. I'm like, hey, just grab a couple, and let's go meet our friends again. I don't mind you stealing from a church, as long as you don't steal everything. It seems kind of awful, doesn't it? Even for a mercenary, like us.
Consider this the
Chance.
taxation they don't have to pay.
Chance has this big cat's eyes. You know the look. Like eyes fully blown. Staring at the barrel with the fish. Barely hurt.
Can you catch them as if they were fish in a barrel? Do you want to try?
I got claws.
Make an attack roll on the fish.
Just one. I'm just gonna get one. What would be an attack?
Attack roll. What are you attacking with? Your claws?
Yeah.
Attack roll with your claws.
Racial bonus.
Actually, that's a. I like that statement. It's not stealing; it's accepting an unstated offering from Bahamut.
Yeah. Maybe.
Okay, we can't see what's happening outside the temple anymore, and the battle music has started.
Yeah,
I'm very
I know.
worried if you guys.
Yeah, I'm
aren't
really
there.
I'm surprised that you're still talking
If you
about the fish.
Like, if you guys aren't here, I'm
Okay.
very worried now.
All right. Chance is able to reach in the barrel, snatch a fish really fast, just kill it, just boom, pop, in the mouth and out, and just got her fish is gone. Jerk,
Okay.
you're standing there and you go out there.
No, I'm going too.
You're not grabbing a fish or anything. Okay. So as you guys head back out and their conversation ends, and they're talking about I don't think any cultists would do any kind of attack or anything here in the city. You turn around, and as you hear a large commotion coming from outside, you hear a chanting, and that chanting is
Oh shit!
you see as you guys all kind of come and step outside out front, and Scalebearer Vakar has come with you. So he's standing out here at the center with you. As you guys come to see this scene, you notice that the number of these, let's just call them cultists, these dragon cultists, has increased, tripled, quadrupled on us. They're collecting around. There's still people out and about in the courtyard, but they seem to be kind of a little confused. And I really want to read this chant because I think that's a little time. So what they're chanting, you kind of as you're entering out in the hallway, you hear this: "Blessed are the ignorant, for they shall be shown the light. Blessed are the unseen, for they are the prophets. Blessed are the past, for they understand. Blessed are the sinners, for they have reached understanding. Blessed are the innocent, for they shall be the first. Blessed are the unworthy, for they are children to be taught. Blessed are the suffering, for they are learning. Blessed are the heretics, for they shall be eaten last. Blessed are the followers, for they shall serve first."
I heard enough of that to understand that a lot of it sounded wrong. Do I recognize any of this? Can I tell if it follows any particular teachings?
Roll me a religion check. As you're hearing this, what are these strange words I hear as I'm going outside?
Yeah, 9.
I love that your religion checks are -1. It's fucking
I
weird.
understand my religion.
Right. Yeah, nope.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, it does sound like chanting. You've heard chanting in a variety of things. When it's not a song, oftentimes it's chant because not everybody can sing.
My passive insight tells me that a lot of that is threatening and very non-benevolent.
Yeah, I'm gonna look over at Scalebearer Vakar and be like, "Is that right?"
Wait,
What?
which priest is with us?
Scalebearer Vakar came outside with you.
My mentor also
yeah.
heard this because his door is always open.
Well, he was sitting with you guys. He was sitting with you. You were at his,
Oh, yeah,
you're at
we
his
all went
table. So when you all kind of get up, he kind of comes
no.
out with you, and you hear the noise. So as you come out, you hear this chanting, and it's just repeating. And they're kind of standing here. You notice that the way the temple and the courtyard is arranged is that people are there's kind of 2 exits off to the different sides, and there are now cultists kind of blocking off people from moving the other side. People are noticeably starting to be afraid as this sort of yelling and shouting has started happening in their faces. Blessed are the ignorant, for they shall be shown the light. There's this guy and his girlfriend over here try and get through, and he's like, "Hey guys," just up in his face, "Blessed are the ignorant," shouting at him.
Okay,
And
I'm
just
gonna,
"Oh, okay," and they start backing off.
I'm going to ask Scalebearer Vakar, can you get all your able-bodied casters and healers and bring them out here? Because I think shit's about to go down.
We're not a barracks, son.
No, I didn't say you
It's
were
like,
barracks, but you turned out this cleric, and he's pretty cool.
There are only a few of us here, but I can go. He leaves. Scalebearer Vakar is no longer with you.
From what I remember, there's apparently even more politics that goes on here than I expected. I'm not sure
Blessed are
how
the ignorant.
useful the others will be.
As they start moving in.
We haven't rolled for initiative yet.
I would
We're
say
not-
at this point, I
we
feel
haven't-
like
we
initiative
haven't
needs
started
to be a
combat.
thing.
I'm gonna
We're
move
not-
forward.
We're not martially threatened. They're just standing there.
I'm gonna move
Before-
forward and yell. I've encountered your kind before, and I think I know what you're after. Leave these people and let these people leave, and we can talk one-on-one.
There's like 13 of them. It's not really one-on-one.
I'm just trying to help people. I'm just buying time.
Okay.
You are.
We just-
As
we
chance,
did-
I'm like kind of sitting in the back. I still have the fish in the mouth, like I killed it. But I
Yeah.
haven't had a chance to eat it yet. And I'm
Uh,
kind of looking around, like looking at this group that I'm now part of. Like, is this like normal for you guys?
Thinking on the
Yes,
fly.
it's very normal, and
Yeah.
shit's about to get real.
You get
this
used
is gonna be
to it.
fun.
And so,
So I yell this.
yeah,
let something
respond at all?
let the people go.
yeah, you
And
yelled
we'll
this.
talk.
So let the people go and you talk, and they kind of from the majority of them, the chant continues. Blessed are the past, for they understand. Blessed are the sinners, for they have reached understanding. As these guys kind of keep moving forward, and as they move forward, some of these townspeople start kind of moving off this way. Looks like they're gonna get cut off a little bit on the side. These guys are kind of noticing some of the same thing and are starting to move this way away from this like family with their kid, starting to move away from him. You notice that this guy is like moving out into an area where he's pretty trapped, and that sort of chant continues. You do notice though, Taliesin. Actually, roll me a quick perception check. See if you. Nah, fuck it. You do notice though, Taliesin, that in response to your excitement, as they kind of like started moving out, that one of them, as the rest have been moving, is sitting silently, and he is dressed differently from the rest of them. And I would say I'm going to give you some images of what the cultists generically look like, and this other guy.
Zoom and enhance. Is it just me, or does that guy get his own token?
He does get his own token. That's why he's different, and he is dressed differently. So that's your general dragon cultist, and this is the other one standing there. They are not wearing the dragon mask.
I want to.
Although that's pulled up a little higher up, like above the eyes, so you
Right.
can't see his nose. Just you can see it looking over there, and he's standing in that like kind of stoic way still as the rest of them move on.
Can I'm gonna chance making a. I don't know if it's perception or insight. I want to see if any of them, or if this guy is the guy we met in the cave previously.
They all
Okay.
look kind of the same.
Roll it.
No, we killed that guy.
No,
No,
we
you
let
let
him
a
go.
dude go.
Oh no, why did we do that?
Because we didn't know anything about what he was doing, and he was just a random dude.
Pretty sure we let him go because one of
Yes.
you decided to spare him and wouldn't let Sparkle Gem
Well.
stab him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Sparkle Gem wants to kill everyone all the time.
Yeah.
You notice that
Not the point.
that the ones who are all dressed the same, like that image on the left that I've got up for you,
yeah.
that is how that man was dressed. You at least
Yeah.
remember that. You can't tell the difference between any of them, but the one who's dressed differently seems to be dressed differently. That's
Okay. I would call to him and say, you know, what do you desire corralling all these people here? They just are going about their lives, and this is not the way to. I understand that you guys want to have your message heard, but this is not the way to do it. Speak with me, and I, you know, if speak with me, and we can work something out. But if you continue to threaten the lives of these people, as I take it, you are doing now, I will have to intervene. I'm not even fucking lawful good. Why am I doing this?
Because
I
the
don't know.
alternative is because it honestly is less work than trying to deal with what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
Blessed are the
To try and
unworthy.
head it off.
Blessed are the unworthy, for they are the children to be taught. And you know, you notice these guys are like they're in sync. These guys
Yeah.
practice this.
Or
Yeah.
it's just one guy with a bunch of shadow clones.
I mean, I'm yelling at the one dude who I
The kind of-
felt important.
This dude.
Can Chance like
Yeah.
slowly approach the crowd?
Yes, you can. This guy kind of moves forward and he shoves this kid and this dude to the ground. Not dead. Not dead is not the button I want. He does not kill them by shoving them to the ground. But they do have the back pain icon. There it is.
So they start shoving people.
Yeah, this guy shoves 2 of them to the ground. The others move up and they move in. This guy pushes this out of the way. As these guys are trying to run, he trips them. This dude gets knocked down on the ground. This lady goes over and is like, "Ah, what are you doing?" And she gets hit. She gets punched in the face.
All right, so I'm gonna say, "Fuck a magic band," and I start to pull out my staff, but then I feel something, and you guys see me stop, and I feel like a pull to my side, and then you see me reach under my cloak, and I pull out this like long gnarled root, and I kind of overhear me say, "Guess this is probably the best time to use this," and I cast.
A what?
Yeah, it's a long gnarled root.
Secret item.
I'm still
What?
I'm finally starting to understand, my friend, why you gave this to me, and I cast conjure animals, and I'm gonna conjure.
Is that one of those where
yes.
it's like do you get to choose?
What? I'm sorry. What?
Do you get to choose? Because I remember reading a column about those. They're
Oh
weird.
yeah, I can conjure. I can conjure anything up to challenge rating 2, but depending on what I conjure, it is a different thing. So, but I'm gonna try to conjure. No.
You
not a
see,
challenge piece.
you see, as you're pulling out this one, Smelly, you do notice that one of them in front of you has a very large hammer and is approaching the statue of Bahamut.
Okay, well, I've just conjured 2 tigers, and who are standing in front of me.
All right.
And
Get one up to
they
him so I
have
can
an
sneak attack.
initiative,
It is time to roll initiative.
Yeah.
Waiting for you to say that
roll
before I
initiative
said
for
what I
myself,
wanted.
and then I also have to roll initiative for the tigers. So
There was a way to get out of this without battle, but this is battle once the magic is cast. So, or an attack is made. We'll see how things go from here, but we're gonna roll initiative now so that we're doing things in turn order.
there was
I'm going to request your total roll, so please add your modifier for it when I ask.
I was the only one who attempted to speak with them, and they did not respond. So
They were not there to listen to people. Sparkle Gem, initiative roll, total.
2.
Total is 2?
Yes, total is 2.
Jesus, girl. Okay.
Oh
Now
god.
you see why I said fuck? I'm over here napping, you guys. Like
Jerk
midday
initiative roll.
wine nap.
17.
17. All right.
initiative is plus 2.
Taliesin, initiative roll total, please.
21.
21.
And then also do my no wait, hang on.
Godwald, total initiative roll, please.
2.
Oh man! Pure chance. Initiative roll, please.
18!
Woo! Somebody's close to the top of the order.
Hopefully it's lucky for me.
This is
Yeah.
unexpected.
Do my tigers just go directly after me? Is that how we're
Does it?
gonna do
So,
it says that they have their own initiative, but I don't know. Like sometimes
so that
For-
guarantees them their own turn.
it's yeah.
For the
If-
sake... I was going to say, do you want them to have their own separate turn, or for the sake of making it a little easier, do you want them to just go after you, or before you, or maybe we roll to see if it's before you or after you?
I'm
For
fine-
my sake, right after you is fine.
yeah, I'm fine with them just going right after me.
Fair
That's-
ruling
But
and very helpful.
Yeah, it'll just be easier.
It's just it's gonna be a pain in the ass to try to fucking remember their initiative every time.
Just the important rules lawyeriness of acts on their initiative is it doesn't happen during your turn. You finish your turn, then they have their turn.
Yeah. So Talison's Tigers, I've added to the sheet. What's their AC?
12,
Well, do you know their HP?
37.
Thank you.
Damn, those are some strong tigers.
Yeah, I mean they are tigers.
Each one, the
how
two
many?
of them together is a fight for
There's just 2 of them. Yeah.
Thank you.
Together they're level
Alright.
2 encounter.
Yeah, I mean I could summon a single saber cat, which is a challenge rating 2, but with this many people it would be better to have more.
Could you
Yes.
have 7 wolves?
Yeah, but they would die pretty easy.
I just need you to get one of those tigers
Alright.
within 5 feet of these guys. I'll do the
Inside of
rest.
you are 2 tigers.
I'll get it. Hold on. And then I'm gonna sort. There we go. All right.
They are spectral as well, but that doesn't really matter.
There we go. I forgot I gotta give them numbers. Taliesin Tiger 1, Taliesin Tiger 2, so I can check. Thank you for that. Okay, I would like to go grab one of those beers for this, because I know we're about to get into it here. So I think
Aye.
now is a good time. Also, I just noticed it's 10:45. So do you want to start combat now, or do you want to hold off on combat?
I
I'm
would
willing to
rather.
wait.
Yeah, I would rather hold off until the start of next session.
Okay, yeah. That sounds good. I mean, because
Okay.
this could take us some time. depending on
Yeah,
how
there's a lot of
quick we
dudes.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got them in bulk sections, so it'll be easier.
I didn't
What?
prepare all of my combat spells today. I prepared some try and diagnose what the hell's gone on with Sparkle Gem spells today.
Tara said I had a party member try and cast in between my legs once and she nearly killed me in my vagina. That's pretty fantastic.
That sounds
On-
unfortunate.
On a related note, I did take Spell Sniper with my wizard.
Oh yeah?
because we have a ranger who keeps moving their beast companion in inconvenient places for ranged attacks.
Oh yeah, that'll happen.
So having a feat that says that cover doesn't matter, partial cover doesn't matter, may help with that.
All right. Well,
Well, guys,
All right.
well, it was kind of fun. I didn't expect you to spend so much time in there. And we're going to the cafeteria. I was like, fuck it, we're going to the cafeteria. So we did it.
was expecting at some point for you to tell Gabe to tell me to do something, and I was like, nah, I guess I'm just sitting out here reading.
I mean, that was we were gonna. That was
Well, I was waiting for
in my
a
thoughts,
certain
that
time
was when
period
we
to
were
be.
gonna
I literally
investigate
was-
one person.
I was literally waiting for the end of their conversation with the car to happen so I could turn back to you and be like, okay, outside, this is happening. But at the end of their conversation, they're like, we bring Taliesin inside. It's like, well, okay. Like we're going to delay this even further. Like,
Yeah,
That was.
How do you not know that this is how we do things?
I mean, it's just,
It's
you
been-
know, what was I supposed to do? Tell you guys no? Like, don't do the thing you want to do? You know that's not how we
And
play
then,
this
like,
game,
yeah.
right?
It's like, and
It's
so
been 2
like, you
say-
years. We do
we
this
say
every
yes.
single time. It takes
We
us
say
4
yes.
hours to go shopping.
Oz
does.
who likes
Yeah,
Oz
it
who likes
really
box
does.
text is like, I'm getting so much box text. I'm just gonna let this happen.
Yeah, this was the Oz
Ask
box text
interesting
one.
questions. Yeah.
Last time was the Taliesin box text one. You know, we had a jerk box text before that, so or jerk and
got
Sparkle
some-
Gem one before that. So you know, we'll get a chance one in next time.
All right. We'll be back on Monday, right?
Yes,
Should be free
we should
Monday.
be.
I barring unforeseen circumstances.
Yeah, I don't see why I shouldn't get some more done. But actually, I would really like to work with you on something, Chance. You know, and you know to do something in so I could add some more story flavor to your character, like I've been adding to everyone else's.
Oh,
I don't know
sure.
if
We could talk about my past bestie Taliesin, or we could talk about how everybody wants to kill me, or
Yeah, we'll work something in so that I can have more information from you, so that I can build more story where it involves your backstory and stuff. Because I don't know if you guys have noticed the last couple sessions, It's what I've been trying to do really hard.
I
To get your characters more involved in this story.
I found something out the other day that there is a table in the DMG for if you bring a character of level 5 or higher into a campaign,
Mm-hmm.
and like it says, like basically,
Oh, for
add,
the amount of gold, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
like add like 600 gold and 1 item drop.
Yeah.
yeah. We did item drops with her already, but I didn't add her
Mm.
any gold, so I added her some when
Fair.
we were talking here. So if you, a chance to
I got
refresh
some
that
gold
sheet.
now.
For
You
free.
I
guys-
mean, I was okay with being a leech off the
Alright,
party.
I'm
Like,
gonna
Yeah, no, you have some gold. You don't have the amount of gold they have.
I'm gonna
I'm
cut
still
off
guys
the
Speak
okay
for
with
stream.
being a
yourself.
leech.
I'm broke.
Good night,
guys-
internet. We'll see
Good
you
night,
soon.
internet.
Good night,
Bye.
internet.
You guys got a glimpse of my unique weapon.